Vienna, not Austria. What is good? Woo. It is a delight to be here once again in Jam and Java. I am so stoked. This venue is the best. These crowds are always the best. Our day here has been the best. Are you ready for a show that's going to be the best? Good. It has been a fun time here. Took the Amtrak in this morning, but made an important pit stop before boarding the train, which is I saw the giant pigeon statue. It's been in New York for like a year, and I keep telling myself, oh, when I take the Amtrak train, I'll go a little early, and then I'll see the pigeon statue, and then I'll board the train. And then every time, something happens. If anyone else is a parent, you know there is a time vortex that exists at your door. There's always something that happens in the world of parenting before you're trying to leave. A poopy diaper, something else you gotta do, a snack, whatever. And every time it's failed. But this time it worked. Sherry met me there at 8:15 in the morning. And we observed the giant pigeon before it goes away. They're replacing it with some other statue, which won't be as cool, but that energy is now coursing through my veins as I have witnessed the giant pigeon, which is called Dinosaur. That's the name of the art exhibit, which is great. But speaking of things that are great, we are here for what is going to be a great show. We're covering two really, really fun chapters. I'm very excited to cover these chapters. I'm very excited to cover them with our very special guest, someone who has done so many shows with me at this point that it is going to be a point of conversation when he gets on stage. So let's welcome him to the stage. Make some noise for your guest for tonight's show. It's Trolley Frohlichstein!
Hello. I like that you said, without knowing, that they're gonna replace the pigeon statue with something less cool. I really hope they replace it now with like Percy, Annabelle, and Grover.
I hope it's, oh my gosh. I don't know why in the back of my brain it feels like it might be something, no. I don't want it to be like a religious thing. Like it's a big Buddha or something and I've angered, whatever it is, I don't know. I love the pigeon. I will miss the pigeon dearly, even though I only saw it now. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. As we discussed earlier today, this is our 20th time doing this together.
Yeah, 20 times doing it. And yet, on the 20th, you forgot to bring my laptop and my water bottle on stage. Do you want to vamp or should I?
I'll vamp.
Vamp, I'll get it. Go. Talk to the crowd about your lovely day in Virginia. Dude, talk about our lunch. Talk about our fun lunch.
No, I'm going to talk about my plan for a spin-off podcast in honor of my 20th show. I'm going to launch a podcast called Minutesless because I never watched 60 Minutes as a kid. And so I'm going to go on a quest to see if 60 Minutes is the best Sunday syndicated news magazine. What do you think?
I didn't know it was a magazine. I thought it was a TV show.
I said a syndicated news magazine.
Oh, is that what they call
I think,
it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I just remember always hearing the and being terrified as a child.
Well, that can be part of that can be like the in between the ad breaks. I can play that for Minutesless. Does that sound good? Would people listen to that? 60 Minutesless.
Mike, it's over there.
Thank you. I was looking for my brush. It flew out of my pocket at some point.
Wow, and you've done this at least 20 times?
I've done so many, but it keeps, look, I was just dancing too hard. There's too many people here that I couldn't jump out into the crowd. Good problem to have. So I had to dance and give it my all on stage. But we're here to cover chapters 27 and 28 of The House of Hades. Very excited. Where are you at reading-wise? You're like into Trials of Apollo territory.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
So you were revisiting these.
That's right. And wow, we got a couple banger chapters. I'm so excited to talk about these.
I am as well. So I feel like we should just get right into them.
Do you want to talk about lunch now?
Yeah. Lunch was good. We went to Ambar, which was an all-you-can-eat Balkan place. I meant to pull up who on Instagram DM'd me and suggested it, but whoever you are, thank you. Yes. Who is it? Jeanette. Oh, it's Jeanette. It was you. Hi, Jeanette. Thank you. Jeanette is very kind. You also gave me a scarf to start the show. I have a Trinity Rodman scarf now, so go Washington Spirit, except, I love my New York, New Jersey, Gotham so much. My, two-time defending NWSL champion. And NYNJ Gotham. Yeah, look.
Hey, you could say we were scarfing down some Balkan food earlier.
We did. Oh, it was great because it was an all-you-can-eat thing. I told my mom, Barb, about it. We were walking home and back to the hotel at undisclosed location, and I was FaceTiming her, and I was like, "Yeah, Johnny and I just grabbed all-you-can-eat lunch," and she went, "They lost money on that meal," which is probably true. We had quite a bit, but we're ready to rock. Not only is the pigeon fueling in my veins, so is so much Balkan food.
We're balking here.
No, we're talking here, because it's a podcast. Let's go. So, we are going to be starting with chapter 27, which is called Hazel. We'll obviously retitle it. Now, where we last left our heroes, they just got trapped into the big turtle trap by the person whose name we haven't got yet, I believe, at the beginning of this chapter, and the big turtle. And now we have already had the decision made that Hazel and Jason are going to climb up, and now we're going to see what happens. So the opening line of this chapter is, quote, Hazel liked the great outdoors, but climbing a 200-foot cliff on a stairway without rails with a bad-tempered weasel on her shoulder, not so much, especially when she could have ridden Arion to the top in a matter of seconds. And I had forgotten that Gale, the polecat, was here as well. So interesting situation to be on. I love a hike as well, but I don't love a hike with stress. It's supposed to be a relaxing situation. So if you're hiking not just for the nature of it all, I can see that being not necessarily enjoyable.
I like that she framed it as a climb and that she's not one of those climbing people, you know, who like talk way too much about how they love to climb. Sorry if you're one of those people.
Yeah, we got a nerdy crowd. Nerds love bouldering.
Nerds love bouldering. No, that's totally fine. It's totally fine to love bouldering, but it's when you talk a lot about loving bouldering when I start to take issue.
I will respectfully stay out of this.
I won't. I've already stepped in it.
The thing I will say is to anyone who actually like climbs rocks, like real rocks, and goes up and like not even into the free solo stuff, which is just like your brain just is broken. Like shout out to Alex, what's his face? Like good for you, but also I don't know how you do that. But when you do the real rocks, I'm always like, why? You know, you could just like walk up this thing. There's trails. They build stairs in there sometimes. And sometimes the stairs have handrails. Sometimes you can take like motorized means of transportation down.
But then you won't get some, I don't even know climbing terms, some gnarly dinos or whatever.
Yeah, get the V6.
Yeah,
baby. So Jason is walking behind her so that he can catch her if she falls. And she appreciates this, but it doesn't make the hike any less scary. Hazel wishes that it was someone else with her, though. She gets that Jason makes the most sense from a practical perspective. He has flying powers, but she can't really get a read on Jason. And that makes me like this pairing even more, because when it was going to be a Jason-Hazel combo, I was like, this is unique. I don't think this has happened yet. This is kind of fun. And this book is doing a lot of that, which is really cool. We're getting fun little pairings on the side quests.
The beauty of having a 7-person crew is that there's so many different of those, right? There's so many combinations, not
permutations?
Permutation is where order matters. We got nerds. Tell us.
Where are my statisticians in the crowd at? Where are my probabilists? All right, I'll ask my sister-in-law.
Yeah. Also, every time I sit up on one of these stages with you, I feel like I'm fanning myself because Hazel is talking about how hot Frank is every single time. I wish someone else was with me.
Yeah, it was fun when we were on the train. You were recapping like, what's the stuff that's happened before? Because you were like, I remember what happens in the House of Hades, but not necessarily the order in which it happens. And I was like, blah, 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 yeah, Frank got the big Ares power. And you were like, oh, but Frank. Hubba, hubba. So she can't get a read on him. I think that makes this very fun. And what she says about this is, as the narrator, she lists off the other choices in order of who she wishes it was. She says Frank, then Nico, then Piper, and then Leo, and then says, quote, or even ... Okay, well, maybe not Coach Hedge. Hilarious. And at first I was like, Nico above? Right, he's her brother. Oh, yeah. Like, I completely was like, Nico's high on this list for the guy who's always just, like, creepy and macabre in the back.
Also, as we will see, she was totally right about Coach Hedge. He would have absolutely messed this situation up beyond repair.
Are you still anti-Hedge, or have I helped you come around on him?
It depends on the day. But today I'm pro Hedge, dang it.
You were reading the book today, the preceding chapters, and you were like, Coach Hedge hitting the tortoiseshell with his bat, how fun. Like, he's a fun little chaotic boy.
Yeah,
man.
he's just
go
so
Satyr.
useless.
I mean, but that's the joy of it. So Hazel had heard stories about Jason starting from the day she arrived at Camp Jupiter. She heard the stories of the boy who was raised from lowly cohort 5 to lead the campus praetor to only disappear soonly thereafter. And he feels like more like a legend than a person. And I can understand this vibe. Like, you hear so many stories about someone and then you actually meet them, you know, whether it's like someone's sibling or significant other or whatever it is. Like, I can understand the story preceding the human.
I really thought you were about to say, I can understand this vibe as someone who's more of a legend than a person. I was like, no way we're going there. No way.
No, not at all. No. If anything, it's just like when I meet people who like know me from podcasting Roll First, they just get like fast tracked to Mike's embarrassing stories of his life. Like, we already know all the silly things you've done. So Hazel also has not forgotten about how ready Jason was to write Nico off as just bait in a trap. And she does say, look, it did turn out to be true, but I didn't like it, and I get it. She's just worried that if they get into a pickle in this upcoming situation, is Jason just going to do what is best for the quest and not necessarily what is in her best interest? Is he going to favor the big picture over Hazel individually?
Which, like, if he's gonna, probably the right call. Like,
why? Because Hazel's already died before? It's like, you had your chance.
no, I'm more, the trade-off between everyone and one person, it's a pretty simple trolley problem,
I was going to say,
in my
okay,
opinion.
Trolley Frohlichstein. Johnny Trolley-Stein.
Dang it.
I feel like I think it might have been Greg Pak on Blue Sky was talking about how the correct answer to the trolley problem is just punching the person in the face that has asked you the trolley problem. Like, I think even the person who came up with it is like, there is no right answer, guys. Like, it's just a thought process. You're not supposed to pick someone. Like, the real answer is, let's figure out how to make this train not kill anybody, please.
The real answer is Hazel.
Anyone who's died before, get back, go back. So she can't see whoever the robber is quite yet, but she thinks about how she will summon loads of valuables and hope that the valuables are cursed. She's not sure if that is still the same situation, since she hasn't really checked in on this since she came back in Hazel's second life to Hazel to Levesque. So Jason asks if she's had any success manipulating the mist, and Hazel says no, and then thinks about how she is worried that she's never going to get the hang of it. She lets us know as the narrator that she tried some new things recently. She tried to turn a seagull into a dragon, and she tried to turn Coach Hedge's hat into a hot dog. Now, they said Coach Hedge's hat, and I felt so vindicated because a couple of episodes ago, at least at the time of posting TNO, I was like, I feel like Coach Hedge wears a hat. And then people were like, no, Coach Hedge doesn't wear a hat. And then some people were like, you're confusing Coach Hedge for the Rostic hat Grover wore. And I was like, no, not all satyrs look the same. But now I feel vindicated with his hat. Now, this could be like a different hat, but in my brain, he was always wearing a hat, and maybe there's some credence to it. I don't know.
Sounds like you were reading ahead when you were recording. That's a faux pas in your line of work.
What are you, the guy who wrote the first ever article about Potterless who was wrong about 25% of the podcast? Who said the podcast would have been better hosted by a Brit, and also said that we'll see if anything ever comes of Mike Schubert, but he might just be someone with a seriously good idea. Sucks to suck, guy who wrote that article.
That was me.
You pretended to be a British college kid? The long gone.
Just to make this joke.
Now, my thought with Hazel's failed attempts here is maybe start smaller. Turning a seagull into a dragon or a hat into a hot dog feels a bit advanced. Like, why don't you try and turn a nickel into a dime? Or cheddar cheese into pepper jack cheese? I don't know. I feel like there are simpler transfigurations, if you will, to make.
In fact, in the other series that you once covered, they start with much simpler transfigurations, do they not? Like, that's how the class starts. They're like,
isn't it like a mouse into a tissue box?
Something like that,
That feels intense. To go from like a living thing into just a box of puffs? I don't know.
Are you killing the mouse in this case?
Oh, too many questions. J.K. Rowling would be like, I knew the answer the whole time.
No, J.K. Rowling would be like, transphobic comment.
Probably. You can get your trans icon blackjack shirts in the merch table on the back. So anyway, Percy Jackson. Jason says that she will get it eventually. She'll figure out how to manipulate the mist. And he says it in a tone that is so sincere, it stuns Hazel. She asks how he is so sure. And he says, I don't know, just kind of got a gut feeling. And he's got a good sense of what demigods are capable of. He adds that Hecate wouldn't have chosen her for this task unless she was confident that Hazel could do it. And this is what I said early on. If the goddess of the mist says, hello, you will be the person to manipulate the mist, I feel like that's the correct call. Like, if Steph Curry shows up and is like, you're going to be great at three-point shooting, I'd be like, yeah, Steph, probably. You're the subject matter expert.
You've been this hype man for me before when I kept saying, my Frisbee team will never make nationals. And you said, no, obviously you're going to. And then we did.
Yeah, look, you did it. You done did
you
it.
manifested for me.
Happy to do so. Hazel recognizes that this should make her feel better, but it just doesn't. She also thinks that she has a good read on what people are capable of, and she wonders, what can Jason do? She can usually get a sense of what motivates people, but she's just got nothing on him except for natural-born leader. And I like that even the author Rick Riordan recognizes he's kind of created just a generic hero guy. I think it's fine that he is, and I think
I'll tell you what Jason can do. Jason can grill a mean burger.
Oh, yeah,
Jason can build a deck in the backyard.
Yep.
Easy. What else? Jason can play the electric guitar.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. That's all I got.
No, that's great. I think it's good. I'm wearing my Jason friendship bracelet that I got at one of the live shows in Virginia. I either got it here at one of the Vienna ones or at the Richmond one, but it's got red, white, and blue stars on it, and it says, he's an American! Felt on brand for the DC show and my outfit choice, which is I'm dressed as the Virginia state flag today in its full form. You might remember in a previous show I did, because it's like, have you seen the Virginia state flag? Here, I'll pull it up. It's wild. You guys have a wild state flag. I love that it still hasn't been updated, because it's bonkers. You don't know this one? So it's like, here, it's this woman in light blue. Is she Justice or something? One of the Yes, Justice? Okay, cool. So it's Lady Justice. She's holding a big sword and got a big spear looking thing. She's crushing over some dude who represents tyranny. Her boob is just out. And then she's wearing a bluish, light blue, kind of tealish thing with a cool funky hat. This dude has a crown off of his head and he's looking defeated in purple. And then around the border is red flowers with blue berries and a green vine. So I wore purple shoes and then light blue socks to be the light blue, stepping on the purple. And then I wore green pants, a blue shirt, and a red jacket to be the border.
There's only one thing missing. Your boob's not out.
Well, it is a button. I could do it.
Come on, baby.
It's an all ages podcast. I won't be doing that. But also you gave me these socks, so even extra. I'm very intentional with the outfit choices. Anyway, podcast people are talk about the book. She has a good read on people, and she feels, Hazel, she can't discuss this feeling with anyone that she doesn't necessarily trust Jason. Frank is in awe of Jason. Leo is Jason's best friend, and Nico respects Jason and doesn't question his leadership type decisions. So she kind of feels alone in her worrying about Jason. She's hung up on how Jason was the first cog in Hera's big plan. She also thinks that he might be the linchpin and the final move. So she recognizes he's very important, and this little question of why did Hera put him into play first? Why was that so important? That has her just worrying about him. And I think this is fun. I think it's natural. I think it's interesting.
I don't totally buy her wondering what he can do, because the man can fly and shoot lightning or whatever.
I think his powers are at least quite clear, but maybe his greater aspirations are not. I think what she is more confused about is what is his goal? What is he going for?
Yeah.
And I don't know that that's clear aside from just complete the quest. And I think that's maybe why she's worried. It seems like all he wants to do is lead and complete the task at hand. And if his goal is complete the task at hand, if I'm going to die on this little adventure to the robber, I don't know if he's going to jump in front of a bullet, we'll see, literally, to save me.
Isn't that like people's fear about like super intelligent AI? It will just do whatever to complete the task, even if like humans are in the way. That's like what the weird futurist types will tell you. And it's like it can't even like draw a map right now.
It can't do anything. It's so bad and terrible and awful, and I don't even want to bother. But yeah, I think the thing is like there's some sci-fi movies where it's like humans are inefficient. We'd be better off if we deleted them. Yeah, but whatever. Now, narrator Hazel says, quote, "To storm or fire, the world must fall." That's what the prophecy said. As much as Hazel feared fire, she feared storms more. Jason Grace could cause some pretty huge storms. So, still kind of worrying. They reach the cliff's edge, but they don't see anyone. Hazel is exhausted. Gale begins to scurry around. Hazel looks over the edge at the Argo 2 new moon and is floored. Very intentional, because after the show tonight, Johnny and I are going to return to our hotel at undisclosed location and both watch the first Twilight film, because neither of us have seen it.
Oh, we've seen part of it.
Yes, sorry. We also share this in common with Sherry and a couple of my other friends, which is we've only seen the baseball scene from Twilight.
Someone started saying it as you were talking.
I feel like that's such a universal experience. Where,
Totally.
Like, if you polled people, have you seen Twilight? It's like all of them, some of them, none of them. I've seen the baseball scene, and that might be second place to all of them. So we're gonna watch that tonight and probably live record our reactions and maybe make a future like a spin-off thing like I did with The Last in the Curious, where we just watch all of them and then maybe talk to Kelly about it, because Kelly loves them and I've seen 0 minutes aside from the baseball scene, which is great and perfect. And now I have that song stuck in my head.
And then we're gonna watch 60 Minutes.
We have to watch the old 60 Minutes, not the new 60
Oh,
Minutes.
yeah, of
The
course.
new one
Oh,
is-
yeah.
So, let's see. The Argo 2 new moon. She looks over at the ledge at the Argo 2 new moon and is floored that someone could accurately shoot an arrow that far. It's so far away. Jason begins to ask where, and then a voice replies, "Here!" And just 10 feet away, which is one basketball hoop, 10 feet away, a man with a bow and a quiver and 2 dueling pistols, old school looking pistols, is there. He just appears, and narrator Hazel calls the pistols old school, so you know they're really old school. These are vintage pistols. She continues as the narrator, describing him, saying, quote, "He wore high leather boots, leather breeches, and a pirate-style shirt. His curly black hair looked like a little kid's do, and his sparkly green eyes were friendly enough, but a red bandana covered the lower half of his face."
Okay, dominatrix.
I thought you were going to call him the person you asked me about backstage.
Oh, you mean Dennis from the SpongeBob movie, the bounty hunter. Yeah? Yeah,
I mean,
that's peak Dennis.
From the image you showed me, I still never saw, I've not seen that movie, I need to get on it. But I was a very religious watcher of SpongeBob, the TV show, just not the film.
You would love that movie. The best part of that movie is SpongeBob and Patrick have fake mustaches, and Dennis finds them, and he sees their fake mustaches, and he goes, "Those are fake." And then he says, "This is a real mustache," and pulls his bandana down and goes, "Hur!" and then grows a mustache.
Yeah, love that. So this robber demands their money or their lives at gunpoint, points the pistols at them, and Hazel could have sworn that no one was here prior. This guy feels like he just appeared out of thin air. Maybe he was using an invisibility cloak or something. She thinks something is afoot. Hazel asks who he is, and he says, "Skyron, of course." And Jason replies, "Chiron? Like the centaur?" And I love that reply. I also love, I don't know that we've gotten this yet in the Percy Jackson books of people having the same name. Like, it's a classic YA thing where, like, no one has the same name. You don't have, The Bachelor where it's like Adam B and Adam Z. But it would be great if it's like, no, my name is also Chiron, but I'm not that Chiron.
different one.
So
I just like it sounds like him saying it's Chiron, but like quickly.
it's Skyron.
Skyron.
Yeah.
Skyron.
Or he's Sky Chiron, like if Chiron was a Pegasus instead of a horse. No, I'm not Chiron, I'm Skyron. So he corrects that it's Skyron.
I wonder how this fella feels about plot reveals.
Oh, He at least has a flair for the dramatics at the very least. So he corrects that it's Skyron. He is a son of Poseidon. He says that he is a thief extraordinaire and an all-around awesome guy, meaning he's very cool.
People who are all around awesome guys frequently call themselves all around awesome guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that anyone ever calls someone else like, "You're an all around awesome guy." So it's only going to be like a self-given compliment, epithet, nickname.
You are an all around awesome guy.
Thanks, bud. You too. He reiterates the demand for their valuables unless they are choosing the death option. Hazel says, no, we're going to choose valuables, don't worry. But she wants to know how they can trust that they will be spared if they hand them over. And Esquiron goes, oh, they always ask that. I promise you on the river Styx that as soon as you surrender what I want, I will not shoot you. I will send you right back down the cliff. Now, I like the Styx promise of this, but, quote, send you right back down the cliff is way too vague. I wrote in my notes, it's vague enough that I fear he would push them over the edge. Good thing Jason can fly. We'll see what happens in the rest of these chapters. But yeah, just, I don't know. It felt like the very particular, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna lawyer speak my way through this to make sure that I just send you down the cliff. Feels like it could have a negative implication, and we'll see if it does.
Yeah, totally. Lawyer Skyron.
Skyron
Esquire.
Esquiron? Yeah. Jason asks, what if they fought him, as he cannot fight them and then also hold the ship hostage simultaneously. But before he can finish this thought, Skyron fires off 2 shots. One that cuts Jason's hair on the side, making a racing stripe in it, and then another at the ship that hits the deck between Frank's feet. They can't see this, but Skyron knows that he did that and then describes that happening, which is wild, absolutely wild. I do want to hear, hopefully, Frank talk about that when we return to Frank on the ship. That'd be very fun if he was like, hey, what happened when there was a bullet between my legs? Like, that would be a great double checking from Frank. But this proves that he can do both at the same time. He says he would shoot the 2 of them with his celestial bronze bullets first, and then pick off the 7 one by one, the remaining people of the 7. And he's excited by the prospect of target practice with moving targets, so, try me. And at this point, I wrote in my notes, son of Poseidon? Really? Not Apollo? And we'll see how that comes up very soon. Narrator Hazel even suspects that his guns might be magic, like really not wanting to mess with this sharpshooting guy. Jason feels his racing stripe, and it's clear that he is now pretty nervous about this encounter. And this is where Hazel now immediately, after I wrote this in my notes, asks, are you sure you're a son of Poseidon and not a son of Apollo with aim like that? And Skyron says that his skill is not from his magical heritage, it just comes from practice. He says that taming the giant turtle for sure comes from his water powers, but he says that using water attacks like Percy does, for example, that is just more work, and it's not as fun as ambushing people and using weapons.
I really don't buy that you could practice your way into being that good.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Olympians are not nearly this good.
But Olympians are not eternal? Like, how many years old is this guy?
But there's gotta be diminishing returns on the practice, right? Like, at some point, you're not hitting between Frank's legs from the cliff where no one can even see Frank. That ain't practice.
Yeah, I don't actually want to do this because I think this guy's kind of meh, but does Malcom Gladwell want to make a sequel called 100,000 Hours? 1 million hours? 10 million hours? All right, that guy has weird takes.
Stupid
and
bug.
Bad hair. Just buzz it, Malcolm. You're not fooling anyone. Just shave it.
Maybe you could use Skyron's guns to shave your hair, Malcom Gladwell.
And then he'd be like, how many hours have you practiced this? I'm going to give a weird... Nah, that guy... Anyway, Percy Jackson. So... Narrator Hazel asks what the bandana is for, and Skyron says, oh, to hide my identity. And Jason goes, you introduced yourself to us. You're Skyron. And Skyron's eyes bulge as if he didn't realize that he did that, which is great. He blames it on being rusty after coming back from the dead, and he wants to give it another go. So he goes, stun and deliver. I am an anonymous bandit, and you do not need to know my name.
That was good. You should voice Skyron in the eventual Heroes of Olympus animated series.
I'll take it. Please contact Disney and 20th Century Fox and whoever else is going to do the casting for that show. But that was just the voice that I do. I don't know if anyone is deep into the Julia Donaldson book lore like I am, but there's a really good book by her. She also does Room on the Broom, which we've talked about on the podcast. She has a book called The Highway Rat, and it's really good. And the voice I do for the Highway Rat, because he says stand and deliver, I just imagine him as like a piratey type. He's a rat who's dressed up like Zorro, and he robs people, other animals, like as they travel along the highway. It opens with, the highway rat was a baddie. The highway rat was a beast. He took what he wanted and he ate what he took. His life was one long feast. His teeth were sharp and yellow. His manners rough and rude. And the highway rat went riding along the highway, stealing the traveler's food. I could do the whole book. It's a good, but I don't want to, thank you. I don't want to get sued by whatever publishing company. But when I do the highway rat, because he'll tell people like, stand and deliver, give me your chocolates and cookies. Like I do that kind of voice, so I just did that. But it felt very vindicated that a piratey thief type would be the one that says stand and deliver. So for a piratey guy here to have the piratey voice that I do for the highway rat, I felt incredibly vindicated as a narrator to my daughter.
I only knew like 1/3 of those words. I have no idea what any of this is, but I loved it.
When you come over to hang next, we'll read the highway rat to the
Can you
little one.
rap it to me, apparently?
I can. Julie
Highway
Vaughn's
Rapid?
book, her books are so rhythmic, and that's how you know she's good. Like any good children's book author who makes a book with a rhyming
It's
scheme.
a children's book.
Wait, what? You thought this like...
Clicked.
I'm sorry, when I described a rat dressed up like Zorro, you thought this might be non-illustrated?
I don't know. I had one
when
coffee.
it wasn't rhyming?
I don't have kids. I thought they like they read books about sheep or something. I don't.
What is this YA book that Mike is talking about, the highway rat?
I didn't even assume it was YA. I figured it was some like fantasy book people are into.
It's a romantasy book.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
highway rat.
Yeah, it's by Sarah J. Maas.
Who's that? The Accord of Thorns and
Yeah,
so and so.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah.
Context clues. I don't know anything about that series. That's just me putting together spicy books. Sure. Anyway, Percy Jackson.
Context clues, which I did not use.
So he does this line about being an anonymous bandit, and when he says particularly anonymous bandit, that makes it click in Hazel's mind that Theseus killed this guy, and she says that aloud. So I got to talk to Dr. Mori about this because I would love to know the story. Skyron not delighted to hear the name of Theseus, and Jason asks, okay, what's the story? And Hazel says, Theseus met him on the road to Athens. Skyron would use his turtle to kill his victims. She can't recall how, which I thought meant it's either a plot thing that we want to keep secret, or it's too gruesome for a children's book. So we'll see what Dr. Moya says, but we'll also see the turtle shenanigans soon. Skyron interrupts to say that Theseus was a cheater, and he doesn't want to talk about him. He says that Gia promised him that he could stay on the coast and rob as many demigods as he wanted, and that's what he plans to do. And then he asks, okay, where were we? And Hazel replies, you were just about to let us go. Which I love. Always try that. Always try that. I think
Because half of these stupid villains in these books are like, okay, like
it's absolutely worth the effort.
It's
like,
so funny.
Just go for it. Why not? Why not? And he replies, no, I'm pretty sure that wasn't it. Ah, right. Money or your life. Where are your valuables? No valuables? Then I'll have to. Like, he's great. It was so good. Love this, love this, love this.
yeah, S tier villain banter here.
He's fun. There's some really fun ones, and he's just goofy in all the best ways. Hazel interjects to say that she can retrieve the valuables. Skyron points his gun at Jason's head and hurries her along. Hazel doesn't have to work too hard because she's already nervous. Then medals begin to rise. Skyron asks how she did that, and she just doesn't answer this question, instead saying, take it and go. He corrects that he said he would be taking all of their valuables, not just some of their valuables, and his understanding is that they have something very valuable stored on the ship. And then he describes the Athena Parthenos. Now, Jason says that is non-negotiable, completely non-negotiable. But Skyron agrees, saying, yeah, it's also non-negotiable in that you gotta give it to me. And
Real rock and a hard place here.
it's tricky, it's tricky. Hazel puts together that Gia commanded Skyron to steal it off of them, and he confirms, but he says that Gia told him that he could keep it for himself, and that's an offer that he just couldn't refuse. He plans to live a long life as a rich man, and Hazel lets him know, I don't know how long your life is going to be, given that Gia's whole thing is that she's trying to kill all the demigods. You just told us you're a demigod. Maybe think about your choices? Come on.
Yeah, elite logicking from Miss Hazel here. Doesn't she ask him, like, where are you going to spend this money if everyone is dead except for giants and monsters? He's like,
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh, I didn't think past step one of
Yeah.
the plan. So yeah, she makes a good point. I like this. Always try to talk your way out of these tricky situations. I fully support it. And she, as you said, explains that Gia's plan is to eliminate all mortals and demigods so that her giants and monsters can rule the world. Then there is a 10-second pause while he thinks this over, and he says, fine, You can keep the statue. And Jason is shocked that he's letting them go that easily. Esquiron says, just one more thing. You need to show me a sign of respect. And his method of choice for this is that he has all of his victims wash his feet, which is gross.
Yeah, nasty.
Super nasty.
As someone who loves to sit and think when I respond, which I know seems odd, I love a 10-second silence here from all three of them. And because I feel like the natural instinct for Hazel and Jason here while he's thinking is to like keep talking. And I love that they just let him think. Oh,
yeah.
Amazing.
It's a good kind of negotiation type thing is just, be confident whatever you're going to say and just stick by it and then don't fill the void. Like let them give in first. Like plant your flag and then just chill.
Which makes sense because Jason definitely has an MBA.
Yeah, that's about right. That sounds about right. Look, I learned this when in my business minor at Rice. Like that was like a legit. We had a whole class on like negotiation tactics and stuff. So Esquiron kicks off his boots, and his feet in there are just the worst things that Hazel has ever seen. And she's seen some stuff for sure. But I can imagine like leather boots don't feel incredibly breathable. There's no way on earth this guy's wearing socks. So it's gotta be a bad situation.
Plus, it's probably very humid because they're right on the water.
Yeah, on the coast, he's moving around a lot. Yeah. So
that said, Hazel ain't seen my feet.
Are they that nasty?
No, I was just trying to do it.
So the feet themselves are described incredibly vividly in the book, and I won't be sharing that for everyone involved. The people here at this fine venue who are eating foods and drinking drinks, and then anyone doing anything or listening to the podcast. Brick's had some gross descriptions of stuff. There's never been anything I haven't described before. The feet, I was like, read it once, I was like, that's enough. That is enough. I don't need to type this. Because I'm one of those learners, like I would take notes in class and stuff more because like the act of writing things down puts it into my brain clearly. And I just knew if I even just paraphrased the description, it would be in there too much. And because I haven't done it, like I'm forgetting what the details were other than, ugh. So I think it's worked. I'm glad.
Well, do you want me to remind you of the details?
No, I'd rather
can't.
you not.
I remember lots of them.
Yuck. So Jason says, you've got to be kidding. And Esquiron promises that he is not kidding. He says that if they wash them, he will send them back down the cliff. And I wrote in my notes in all caps, I don't like that phrasing. You've used it again. It feels very intentional.
Very telegraphed, though, right? Like, he is not being coy about his intentions here. I'm going to send you back down the cliff.
Looks over the edge.
Yeah.
Hazel doesn't like how easily he has said this. Hazel thinks, no, this is just like he's too okay to move on to this step. He feels too eager to go on for this plan, and now it all clicks together for Hazel. So she asks Esquiron for a moment. He grants them 2 minutes, so they walk about 50 feet away to make sure that he is out of their earshot, and then she has a little sidebar with Jason, and she tells Jason that Esquiron kicks his victims off of the cliff. And I knew it. I felt very proud of myself as a person who did not read this mythological story before, because Esquiron is not in Hades the 1, the video game, or in Hades 2, the video game, so I didn't know what was going on here. So I felt very proud of myself.
By the way,
yeah.
Speaking of Esquiron not being in those, we are into deep cuts of Greek mythology, like very deep cuts. So I really want to go on Jeopardy. It's like a bucket list item. So whenever I encounter mythical folks from these books, I search them on the Jeopardy archive because there's an archive of every single Jeopardy question ever. Esquiron has literally never been on Jeopardy.
Whoa.
So we are into deep cuts.
Very deep. And I think that's got to be fun for Uncle Rick, right? Like he did some of the major players. You get your Medusas, you get your Minotaurs, you get your even Arachne. Like you get stuff that's more well known, but when you get into the stuff that isn't as well known, you can have more fun. That's what the folks Supergiant who make Hades the video game has. Zagreus is like barely mentioned in anything, and he's the main character of the first one. And then Milena we know a little bit more about, but they kind of play in the space, and they do this for certain things, like even with their interpretation of Demeter, their pronunciation of Demeter, not Demeter. Like they really try to go with either alternate routes of well-known folks or people that don't have a lot, and it's so fun. Especially, and I kind of feel this way about the Percy Jackson TV show, like, it's fun when they do things that are a little different, so that even if you do know the mythology, you know, maybe you know the Millennium story really well, but then you play Hades 2 and you're like, oh, I didn't know them. That's a fun way to do it. Like, it's fun. I think it's cool to see it in different
I don't know.
ways.
I don't like it when things subvert my expectations. I like it to be exactly how I thought it was gonna be.
Okay, reddit.com/r/Camp Half-Blood. They hate that show. They're so grumpy about everything. Have fun.
Annabeth used a preposition on page 23, but in episode 2.3, yeah. Ugh.
It's a children's television program. Let's have fun with it. My take for you on that, because you asked me about this on the trade today, my take is that it's people like trying to show how smart they are on the internet, and it's so much easier to be mean about something than it is to praise something. Like, you have to give more thought and really think about why something is good, because it's not enough just to be like, I mean, well, look, in some cases it is to be like, that rips, like, that's good. But if you want to sound smart about it, like, you have to, you know, think about why is it good? Why is the stress of the film that I recently watched, If I Had Legs, I Could Kick You, like, yeah, I was coiled into a ball the whole time I watched the movie, but it was good. Why was it good? Oh, yeah, shout out to everyone coming here instead of watching the Oscars. That's cool. I very much appreciate that, because last year I accidentally booked a show on the same day, Super Bowl Sunday, and then I didn't learn until a week before, and then my tour manager called me like, I'm so sorry, I should have known. I was like, I think we're okay. I don't know the Venn diagram of Super Bowl people and my podcast. However, I do feel like the Venn diagram of I want to watch the Oscars on TV and I like this podcast about books is probably closer together. So when ticket numbers were good, I felt very happy.
You're welcome, because I'm absolutely in that Venn diagram, but I deigned to come on stage with you.
Yeah, no, you got hype about. I don't know. Are there people who care about the spoilers? If you care, even if does anyone not want to know the spoilers? Please, I won't say them. If someone's like, I've DVR'd the Oscars, no one has raised their hand.
Amy Madigan won for Weapons, and I'm so happy.
Yeah. Creepy, scary lady.
So good in that movie.
So good. Weapons was great. As Big Scaredy Boy, highly recommend everyone watch it with your jump scare timer. If you're scared like me, Weapons is fantastic. You can do it. It's not that scary. And I didn't know until you told me this backstage that she's the mom from Field of Dreams. And she's great in Field of Dreams. And I watched that movie only like a year or so ago. And I remember just being like, this actor playing the mom is so good. Why is she not in everything? Well, she's doing stuff. She's now an Academy Award winner. She's done it. Oh, so cool.
So sick.
So cool, so cool. Love that they are giving awards to fun movies now. They've finally broken through after Get Out didn't get enough awards because they were like, this movie was too fun. It can't win an Academy Award. We gotta give it to Fish Sex Movie. Ship Water sucked. I hate that movie. It was so bad. It was so bad. Anyway, Percy Jackson. So, where were we?
Speaking of fish movies.
Nasty feet. So, let's see. Esquiron kicks off his feet. Oh, yeah, she says to Jason, he's going to kick you off into the edge of the world, off the cliff. And narrator Hazel says, quote, Jason took a moment to digest that, so to speak. And I think that, why did I say nice? A moment to digest that. Oh, because the previous line is that she says the giant turtle's going to eat you. So the narrator Hazel goes, Jason took a moment to digest that, so to speak. And I was like, Hazel, nice. So good. Jason asks, okay, does this mean we have to fight him? And Hazel says, no, he's too fast. We can't do it. And Jason says, all right, I will be ready to fly. And this was my thought. And then he says, here can be the plan. Like, I'll go and I'll get kicked first, and then I'll just kind of float and hover, and then I'll just catch you when you get kicked. Like, it's a game of, it's not Snake, but what's the one with the, like,
Brickbreaker.
Yeah, Brickbreaker
yeah.
on the BlackBerry with a...
or the iPod with the click wheel.
Oh, that was on, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, good stuff. Yeah, I had it on, like, my old singular wireless phone. Okay, we are so old. We're so... old. So I was thinking, like, this sounds like a good plan, but then Hazel brings up a really good point. She worries, one, the kick might be too strong. You might be dazed and you might not be able to get your bearings about you and start floating, but also we have seen that Esquiron is this sharpshooter with really solid eyesight and he can see things very clearly. He might be able to see you hovering and he might detect that something is wrong, so I don't know that this plan is going to work. And Jason says, well, Well, I hope you have an idea then, which I think is great. Like, I think it's funny when, you'll be in a certain situation and then you throw out a bunch of ideas and then all that person is doing is saying, no. And then you're like, well, what do you got?
Yeah. Where do you want to go to lunch? Ambar. Oh, I don't really like Ambar.
All right, let's go to the all-you-can-eat sushi place today.
Don't really like sushi.
Okay, do you want to grab, there's a burger place we could...
No, that sounds a little heavy.
Okay, we could go to Call Your Mother's got the good bagel spot.
I can't even fake not agree to that. I love Call Your Mother too much.
So, yeah, I like him saying this. Then Golly emerges and gives a look of, well, Hazel, do you have another plan? Which I forgot that Golly was here. And I like that they come back from farting in the bushes, I guess, to be like, remember I was here to see if this went well? So then the book ends the chapter with the following. Quote, Hazel calmed her nerves, trying to avoid pulling more gold from the ground. She remembered the dream she'd had of her father Pluto's voice. The dead see what they believe they will see, so do the living. That is the secret. And then it continues. She understood what she had to do. She hated the idea more than she hated that farting weasel, more than she hated Skyron's feet. And then Hazel to Jason says, unfortunately, yes, we have to let Skyron win. And then Jason goes, what? And then the book ends this chapter with the following, quote, Hazel told him the plan. And I usually am not a fan of them withholding information, but in this case, especially to end the chapter, perfect. Delightful, delightful suspense. I just wrote my notes in all caps, interesting. I want to know what the plan is. I did not guess it. Once she describes what it is in the next chapter, I was like, that makes so much sense. I should have seen it. Did you see it coming when it said what the plan was? Because I was like, what's she going to do? And then she figures it out and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense given everything.
I doubt it because when I read these books, I wasn't like, taking copious notes and thinking about what I was going to say on the podcast every step of the way. So my brain was very much off.
You're just flip.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get to the room. Ooh, look at all these letters. It's a number. Flip.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have retitled chapter 27, Jason Gets a Speedy Haircut. And what is your retitling of chapter 27?
The fastest gun in the West.
Oh!
Because the West is what they used to call Greece, right?
I like it. That's very fun. You did say that you were very proud of your chapter title, and I think for good reason. That's a really fun one. Cool. Well, that is the end of chapter 27. That is the end of this portion of the live show and the episode if you're listening to it after the fact. So let's all say goodbye to the podcast people. Goodbye, podcast people!
Hello and welcome to the House of Headlines, Hillsborough, North Carolina, Porch Edition. If the vibes sound off the charts overall in this episode, it's because most of this episode was edited while on a porch. Hello. So I'm here in town for a wedding. I was in North Carolina also for tour. I was in Atlanta for tour as well. And we did a little combo work trip, family trip, wedding trip, all into one. And it has been absolutely delightful. And I have fallen in love with Hillsborough, North Carolina. It is the cutest little town. And I am coming to you from the porch, little patio, second floor. There's a bunch of rocking chairs and stuff. The vibes are elite area of my hotel at undisclosed location. And I am very excited to talk about the podcast and various updates and stuff like that. So first up, let's talk about the live stream that happened because there were some hiccups and I talked about updates with it on social media, but maybe you don't follow us on Instagram. So basically, if you tried to watch the stream in the moment, we had some issues getting the stream going to start. And then once the stream actually happened, there were a few moments here and there in which the quality wasn't 100% and all of that. I really appreciate everyone for understanding the issues that we ran into and people giving me grace and patience. I very, very much appreciate it. Now, what I have heard from the people who were there filming it is that they were able to get a high quality recording of almost the entire show, and they are working on editing together the files and then sending them over to me. They're just like really big, straight up raw files, so they're enormous, and they have to edit them together, color correct them, stuff like that, and then they're going to send me a completed, edited together version, and then that version is what I'm going to put up for everybody to be able to watch if you bought a ticket or buy a replay of if you have not seen it yet. So normally what I do for these live stream shows is that we stream them to YouTube, and then the 7-day replay, you get that link for while the show's going on while that YouTube thing is live. And then if you buy a ticket after, like during that week, you can watch the replay. But the problem was that replay that's on YouTube isn't as high of quality as I want. So I didn't want someone to buy a ticket like the Tuesday after the show, full price, and then only get a shorter, not as high quality video. So what I'm going to do is once I have that video, I'll put it up on the Patreon shop. Normally I wait until the episode is actually live for me to put it up on the Patreon so that, you know, the timing is there and you have it as like a companion view. But because I wasn't able to do the normal thing that we do in the 7-day replay window, I'm going to put it up on the Patreon shop once I have the file. As of Sunday night right now, I do not have that file. So just stay tuned. I'll post about it on social media, Patreon, next mid-roll break or whatever mid-roll break it is when I have the file. But I'm working with that video team to get it up as soon as I can. Thank you to everyone for the patience all around here. That stream was about chapters 35 and chapter 36, which is a very big revelation for a certain character that we all know and love. So those chapters might seem like, oh, right, I remember reading those. They might seem familiar to you. The stream was super fun. The show was great with Ashley, and I'm excited to have the file so that people can fully experience what it was like to be there in the room. Now, as far as other stuff that we have going on, the only live show on the books right now is in Brooklyn, New York on August 15th. Very, very much excited for the show. I will be doing some Camp Laugh Blood stuff. I have some improviser friends that I know in New York City that I've done a lot of improv with in the past that I'm going to try to bring into the show. So we'll be doing some podcast normalcy stuff in the first act, some improv, long form shenanigans in the second act, and then Q&A to close it out. I'm really excited about the show. It's at Littlefield in Brooklyn, which is a great venue. And if you want to get your tickets, you can right now at thenewsolympian.com/live. Now, outside of live show stuff, there's a new project that I have been working on with one of the interns I've been working with this year, Sophie. Sophie did a really good job putting together a listener survey for the Newest Olympian. I've actually never done one for just TNO, and I'm very excited to get a better sense of what you all want from the podcast in terms of stuff that you hear on the episodes, stuff that you would like to hear/see on Patreon, things that you like about live shows as events and dislike about them as events, things that you like and dislike about live shows that become episodes. I want to get a sense from everybody what you want from the podcast. I try to keep my finger on the pulse of what you all like in terms of, you know, I read the comments on Spotify and I check all my direct messages on social media. I try to do a good job out checking the emails. I'm in the Discord, so I try to keep my finger on the pulse there. But I understand that there's certain things where it would be better just to ask direct questions to understand what you all want. So I've already posted that link for patrons to get access to, and it seems like everything's working well with the survey, and the initial feedback has already been really helpful. So if you just go to the link in the description of this podcast episode, wherever you're listening to it, you can click and fill out that survey. So it doesn't take too long, just a couple of questions, and it's just trying to get a sense of how you feel about TNO, where you think TNO could be headed, what bonus content you would want to see, should we change up the way we do live shows, et cetera, et cetera. So if you have the time to fill it out, that'd be really great. If you don't, absolutely don't sweat it. I totally understand. Thank you just for listening to this mid-roll break. That's very kind of you. Now, one thing that I was going to announce at the live show that I didn't because of all the chaos of what happened that night is that we've got a new piece of merchandise. I teamed up with Robert from the Damn Media page, and we created a new merchandise item, and that is a I Survived the Grey Sisters Taxi t-shirt. It's in the style of the I Survived My Trip to New York City taxi shirt that Peter Parker wears in the new Spider-Man movies. Robert had the idea for this. We teamed up with an artist and my merch people to make this print-on-demand shirt. So this should be an evergreen sort of thing. We've got it in this nice little like light gray kind of color and makes the artwork really pop. And I had a sample shirt sent to Robert. He said that the quality of the design is great and the printing makes it almost look like it's 3D. According to Robert, super soft shirt. He's very much enjoying it. If you ordered one of our Trans Icon Blackjack shirts from online, it's the same process as that. So it should be the same shirt type, if that informs your decision in terms of sizing, or if you're like, oh yeah, I like that shirt. Yeah, I want another one. So you can get that shirt right now if you go to thenewsolympian.com/merch and then click the link for the official merch page. That is where that shirt is. So check it out. We will probably be promoting it on social media with some fun stuff throughout the week. I got to get in touch with Robert. Robert's on a trip right now, but we've got that merch item up and I'm excited for that to add to our existing collection, which is all available at thenewsolympian.com/merch. Now, I've mentioned the Patreon a couple times, so I want to give a shout out to the folks who've joined the Patreon most recently. Shout out to our newest God Tier patron, End of the World, and shout out to our newest Demigod Tier patrons, JJ's and Ryan Booze. Thank you all so much for your support. May Aphrodite bless you that if you fall in love with a small town, that she helps you get over the eventual heartbreak when you leave that small town for your big city life, which you do enjoy, but you have enjoyed the charms of this tiny little town. Now, if you're all caught up with the newest Olympian and you're looking for some new content to consume, you're in luck, because in addition to this podcast, we make a bunch of other podcasts. And in this episode, Johnny and I talk about working on a limited series podcast about Twilight that we will be doing in the future. But if you want to check out another limited series podcast that I did create and you can listen to right now, Eric Schneider, who you've heard on this podcast a bunch, and I made a podcast called The Last and the Curious, and you can get it all right now on the Tuno Patreon shop. So for $5, you get 13 high quality episodes, no ads. You get it all at once. And we had a format where we went through all of the Fast and Furious movies. He's a super fan. I was a newbie. And for the first 4, we watched them together in person and then hopped on the mic right after. And then we did the others remote, where we would watch them and then get on the mics and talk about it, just share all of our thoughts. We had some bonus episodes as well. It was super fun. I really enjoyed it. I thought the movies were incredibly enjoyable, and it was really fun to tear apart the silly things and praise the good things. So if you want to listen to that, you can get it on the Tino Patreon shop, or you can go to thelastandthecurio.us, and then it'll auto direct you to the purchase page. But yeah, check it out. It's really good. Now, unless you're listening on Patreon or get access to ad-free episodes, you're going to hear words from a few sponsors who make it feasible for me to be a full-time podcaster. Some of those ads will be read by me, and others of them won't be. The ones that aren't read by me are inserted locally. So if you live in Hillsborough, North Carolina, don't be surprised if you hear an ad for cute vintage stores, because you got a bunch of them, and they're all adorable. But once this ad's complete, we'll get back into this episode of the News Olympian.
Sorry, I had to wear the scarf that I had aforementioned, really so the podcast people at home could be like, oh, it feels like he's wearing a scarf in this act. But also, as we've said in years past, the green room here is famously cold when we do shows here in cold times. So we got a little bundled up. But I'm feeling good now that I'm on stage. How are you feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah? I feel like I could probably even...
I don't know.
I feel like I could probably even unbutton my jacket.
Probably so.
Oh, not again!
Every time. That's 20. That's 20 in a row.
20 in a row.
We've done this more times than I've brought your laptop and water bottle out.
For the folks at home, Johnny and I are surprised of the pug shirts on. We're talking like, have we done it enough that we could do like a misdirect? Like, have we done it enough times that we could do that and then undo and go, and then we're wearing regular shirts?
Yeah, but then we would suck because our whole mojo would be thrown off.
I know, we'd throw off the vibes. And what is this podcast if not vibes? Yeah, it's covering books in great detail. Okay, so let's do more of that.
It's distinctly not vibey activity.
We're going to cover chapter 28, which is also called Hazel, but of course we will also retitle it. So we begin this one with Esquiron crying out, "Finally! That was much longer than 2 minutes. Ugh, I hate when people do this. It's a figure of speech, Chiron of the sky.
Be there in 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
The worst. But I think Kelly and I must say, like, give me a minute a lot, because our little one will be like, 1 minute, like a lot, so maybe.
And you're like, don't do that.
I hate that, no. Yeah, so him being like, no, I would never. Jason says, sorry, it was a big decision. Which foot? Which is great. Hazel tries to envision what Esquiron wants to see happen. She realizes that this is how you control the mist. You can't force others to see the world the way you want to see it. You got to show them what they want to see. She thinks back to Pluto, saying the dead and the living see what they want to believe, and she tries to roll with that. And speaking of Pluto, she thinks that being a daughter of Pluto will help. 1, the dead's memories are clouded by nostalgia, so you can kind of play on that. And 2, the feelings of longing and greed are similar, so if she can conjure up riches, why can't she conjure up visions? And this feels like a stretch, but in a way that I'll take. Like, it feels like a stretch, but a good one. Like when you touch your toes or something.
You think I can touch my toes?
Can you not?
Can I get close? No.
You want to try? Come on. I got this.
This is so embarrassing. This is the most embarrassing thing about me.
In context, I do this every night before bed because I'm old.
I do too.
right? Get there. Come on. I'm really working up a sweat. Now I got to take off my jacket. Oh, stretching at the podcast show. Whoa, we're getting active up in here. But no, maybe it's like one of the stretches like when you like really stretch and you get like a back pop or something. It's a stretch, but a good one. I think it fits for the story. Hazel feels Frank's firewood in her pocket and realizes that right now, it's not just the lives of one demigod that's in her control, it's everybody on the seven. So she's feeling a little nervous with the added extra pressure.
It's never just one, though, right? Because she has herself and she has Frank at all times right now. Or was she saying that it's not just Frank?
I think she was saying it's not just
everyone else,
Frank, it's everybody else.
Okay.
That would be my hint.
Well, actually revoked.
Yoink, reverse. So then, after feeling the firewood and thinking about this, Jason steps forward and he says, I will go first, I will clean the left foot. And Esquiron presents his nasty, I don't know, there's like a spotlight on my foot now and it feels very fitting for the foot chapter. I don't know if this is an intentional spotlight, but I'll roll with it for now.
You should charge for that.
I've kept my shoes on, I'm not gross. So Jason says he's going to start with the left foot. Esquiron presents his nasty foot, and Jason shudders. He asks Esquiron if he has soap, water, things to clean a foot with. And then Esquiron spins his pistol, and it becomes a spray bottle and a rag. So Hazel was right. These are magic pistols. So
it's not practice, for what it's worth.
Oh, he's a liar. Ooh, I like it. Jason asks Esquiron, do you really want me to clean your foot with glass cleaner? And Esquiron says, of course not. This is multi-surface cleaner. And then he wiggles his toes in the odor with an O-U-R because I'm using the British very legal PDF. The odor is gross.
I wonder what color those feet are.
Oh, not a good color. Not my favorite color, that's for sure. Jason gags on the smell. Esquiron says that Jason can always choose what his other hand is holding, a gun. And Hazel says, he'll do it, don't worry. And then Jason glares at her, and then Hazel just stares back, and as the narrator says that she wins the staring contest. And then Jason goes, fine. So Esquiron is now delighted. He props his foot up on the stone like an explorer claiming land, so I'm imagining like one of these vibes, like Captain Morgan.
With his pirate outfit, too. It's perfect.
Is his dad Captain Morgan? Is he just Captain Morgan?
Is he Captain Morgan's father? I don't know how old Captain Morgan is.
What's the rank? Is there a rank above Captain?
At sea?
Yes.
Commodore?
Commodore, is that directly above Captain?
In
Admiral? Oh, so he's Admiral Morgan?
Yeah. Please, sir, Captain Morgan is my son.
Please call me Admiral Morgan. That feels like, especially with the Captain Morgan liquor, it's like when like Bud Light does Bud Light Premium, and you're like, it's better and thus more expensive. They'll be like, no, this isn't Captain Morgan. This is Admiral. I'm excited for Admiral Crunch, a gourmet cereal experience. Jason gags on the smell. Esquiron, oh no, I already did say that.
Every time you say Esquiron, I think you're doing a bit on Chiron's name. Every time I'm like, oh, is this guy like a Pegasus centaur?
Yeah.
Every time. And then I have to like remember that this is the person's name that we're talking about.
My autocorrect keeps wanting to turn it into Scion. It's like, no, I do mean Esquiron. I'm not talking about the cars from the 2000s, the Scion XA and the XB that was like a rectangle one, and then they made the XC, which is just like a car. I'm old. I was in 7th grade when those cars came out, and I was super into cars. I had Need for Speed Underground, the video game. Yeah. Esquiron, delighted, props his foot up like Captain Morgan. He says that he will enjoy viewing out on the horizon while Jason scrubs his bunions. Bunion is a perfect word for bunions, because it sounds gross. Like, it just sounds like, it's not like, ooh, bunions. Ugh, bunions. It's well chosen.
I was recently laying on the couch at home, and my mom was in town, and she looked at my feet, and she was like, you got some huge bunions. And I had no idea what a bunion was at this point in my life, because I don't read books or something, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not educated. So...
That's not, you read lots of books and you're very well educated.
Yeah, but I did not know what a bunion was. And apparently I have huge ones on both feet. I don't know if I have to do something about that.
You should get some multi-surface cleaner. So Jason kneels in a spot where he will be an easy target to be kicked off of the cliff. Hazel focuses and imagines that she is Esquiron, and she is staring down Jason, and she pictures in her mind what would happen in this situation, and she summons the mist in the same way that she tries to make gems rise from the ground, gems and metals and valuables. Jason sprays the big toe and begins to clean, gagging while his eyes are watering. Hazel, and gagging like real gagging, not like the kid, like not kids who are like, oh, I'm gagged. No, like he is, right? That's what the kids are saying these days when it's like, yeah.
No cap.
No.
I don't know. That's gas. Somebody said that to me once. And
That's gas?
Yeah. And it was
that a thing? What does it mean? It's good to say that's gas? Okay. Noted. That's fire? No. That's for us old people. We know that's fire. It's the same as that's gas. Well, they're not.
6'7" skibbity toilet.
No. 6'7's already done. It's already over. It lived and died. It's already gone. I've heard it's in the past, which is good. So anyway, Percy Jackson. Hazel can barely look, and that causes her to almost miss the kick. Jason flails and screams when he gets kicked. I can only imagine that he did the Wilhelm scream, that's in the movies. Like, he had to have done it. I love that he's playing up the acting part. Like, good for him. I'm glad that he's doing this. And only now did I realize what's happening. Hazel's going to do the mist so that it looks like the turtle is eating him, but he's not. He's doing the floating thing. Absolutely genius stuff. Didn't see it coming. Really crafty and fun for her to finally figure out the mist. It was cool that leading up to this, Hazel's like, man, I really should feel like I should be doing the mist by now. And then Jason's like, you doing that mist thing? She's like, no. And then now she's done the mist. It's great.
It's kind of like in a sports movie when like the kid hasn't made a 3-pointer all year and it's the championship game, and then he gets the ball with 1 second left and fires the 3-pointer. That's this energy.
There's a great new YouTube video from the account we like, Kosh Report, who does the things where it's like NBA buzzer beaters, but they get from increasingly farther distances. There was a new one called When You're 0 for 10 but you make the game winner, and it's just compilations of people having terrible shooting nights but then making the game-winning shot. So it'll show all the misses, and it'll be like, Steph Curry went 2 for 15 but he made the game winner. Like James Harden went 0 for 10 but he made the game winner.
And then weirdly that video ends with Hazel doing the mist.
So an alarm sound goes off on the Argo 2 Attack of the Clones as the team is getting ready to fight. Hazel has to split her focus between making the mist happen and then playing her role to act shocked when dealing with Esquiron. She asks him what he just did. You know, oh my God, what did you just do? He claims that it was an accident. Hazel says that her friends are going to kill him now. He says no chance, and he says that Hazel should wash his other foot. He says that his turtle will be full now anyway, so nothing to fear. Not a great lie here from Esquiron. He's not Lyron. And he says that she's got nothing to fear unless she decides against cleaning his foot, and then points his gun at her. So she hesitates a bit, and then while she's doing this, she's like really trying to play it up. She wants him to see the anguish in her face that she's struggling with this, and she knows that she can't accept it too quickly. She's got to, make it look like she's not scheming and planning on something. So she does a little bit of a half cry and says, "Don't kick me," which is great work. Loving this from Hazel. Esquiron is delighted, so he has clearly fallen into this trap. And the narrator Hazel says the following, quote, "Hazel could hardly believe this guy had the same father as Percy Jackson. Then she remembered that Poseidon had a changeable personality. Like the sea, maybe his children reflected that. Percy was a child of Poseidon's better nature, powerful, but gentle and helpful. The kind of sea that sped ships safely to distant lands. Esquiron was a child of Poseidon's other side, the kind of sea that battered relentlessly at the coastline until it crumbled away, or carried the innocents from shore and let them drown, or smashed ships and killed entire crews without mercy."
Excepting Tyson, it feels like most of Poseidon's sons are from that side of Poseidon that we've encountered. Lots of less than stellar Poseidon children in this book series to date, yeah?
I think it would make sense, though, because I feel like that is a factor in them doing the big pact, right? Of the big three, where it's like, all of your kids are very powerful and they suck. So we got to put a stop to this, especially with everything going on currently. So cut it out. So Percy, being one of the only good ones, I think makes sense. I think it fits. So Hazel grabs the bottle and tells Esquiron that his feet are the least disgusting thing about him, which is a creative insult. I enjoyed that. And then he says, just clean them. So she scooches over in a way where Esquiron kind of has to keep moving, and she does it enough to where he turns all the way 180, but she keeps utilizing the mist to make it look like behind her is the cliff's edge, even though he's now facing the complete opposite direction, which I think is very creative and very crafty. So then she begins to clean. Narrator Hazel says, quote, Hazel had done plenty of ugly work before. She'd cleaned the unicorn stables at Camp Jupiter. She'd filled and dug latrines for the Legion. I, one, totally forgot that Camp Jupiter had unicorns, but two, I would imagine, I just feel like unicorn poop should be like rainbow and sparkly. No, like I feel like unicorn poop should be sweet smelling and lovely and not gross.
Poop's poop.
Poop is poop. You heard it here, folks. She fights back, throwing up, and awaits the kick. And when it comes, she, flies back a little bit, but she just kind of falls on her butt into the grass, so it's not a big deal.
So to be clear, the kick was not powerful enough to have dazed Jason into not being able to fly.
Certainly not.
Wrong prediction from these two.
Wrong
That's
prediction.
Fine. Can't win them all.
I think it's a good thing to consider. It's another reason to give credence to your plan might not work. There's a twofold reason why, so...
Jason actually learned about this in his MBA. It's called risk management.
So the mist then dissolves, and now it shows that the cliff's edge is behind Esquiron, and all he has done is move Hazel safely away from the edge, and he begins to ask how, and then Hazel goes, stand and deliver, which is great. Use it against him. Oh, I love it. So then Jason flies in over Hazel's head. What an entrance. I'm glad that he got to make a cool entrance, because in the previous chapters, he made the cool entrance to try and save Leo, but Leo was already okay, and Leo told him, you've wasted a super cool entrance. Now, immediately, next chance he gets, makes a really cool entrance. Love that he has made up for this. So he flies in and body slams Esquiron off the cliff, and I wrote on my notes, eat him, eat him. Like I was really hoping the turtle would eat Esquiron. It would be great. Jason is beaming, telling Hazel that that was incredible, but Hazel has collapsed out of dizziness. She can hear the ship crew cheering below as her vision and her hearing both start to blur and fade, and then frost spreads across the ground that surrounds her. She worries that she's done something wrong, but a voice tells her, no, Hazel, you've done well. And narrator Hazel says that she's only heard that voice once before, and it's her dad. I don't mean to actually Rick Riordan, but hasn't she heard her dad's voice twice? Because didn't he talked to her in The Son of Neptune. This person's nodding. Okay, great, nice. I feel like he talked to her in The Son of Neptune like the one time he showed up and was like, here's a box of crayons, I'm a great dad. And then she heard him talking in her dream in this book. So I think this is the classic example of like Rick not having a show Bible and messing something up. Your trans icon blackjack shirts are for sale at the Mercy.
Was one of them Hades? I'm just really grasping at straws here.
No, because she's been Pluto through and through.
Yeah.
So when he came in The Son of Neptune, whatever that flashback
That was
situation
Pluto,
that
yeah,
was Pluto.
yeah.
And then in her dream, it was Pluto.
Did he talk to her?
I think
Or did he just leave the crayons?
I think he did. That's my only question. He talked to her? Okay, we're getting lots of nods. Cool. I feel very good about this.
I think y'all are wrong.
There would be so many people being wrong at the same time. It would be all hive mind where we'd all be like, it's the Berenstein Bears.
Did you watch Pluribus?
No, I've heard it's good. Is it good?
Excellent.
I know nothing about the show, so please tell me nothing. I was intrigued. Sorry, I can run backstage and go la 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 la.
No, we can all have a chat. Yeah.
I'll have Sherry edit it out before she sends it. Yeah, it'll be fine. So he comes back, says this, but narrator Hazel is wrong about the facts. So narrator Hazel says, quote, he was dressed in Roman style. His dark hair close cropped, his pale angular face clean shaven. His tunic and toga were of black wool, embroidered with threads of gold. The faces of tormented souls shifted in the fabric. Love that this made its way over into the Roman version as well. The edge of his toga was lined with the crimson of a senator or a praetor, but the stripe rippled like a river of blood. So cool. River Styx accent, come
Elite
on.
fit.
On Pluto's ring finger was a massive opal, like a chunk of polished frozen mist. What an outfit. Phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal. Hazel thinks this is his wedding ring, but not to my mom because he never married her. It must be to Persephone, and that makes her angry enough to snap out of her daze and ask him, what do you want? Which is such a good teenager thing. Phenomenal. she says it intentionally. She lets us know as narrator. She says it in a tone that she wants it to hurt his feelings, which I think is very, very fun. And he says that he is impressed with how strong she has become. And narrator Hazel lets us know, no thanks to you, she wanted to say. She didn't want to take any pleasure in his compliment, but her eyes still prickled. Which I guess is a way to say, like, you kind of getting teary-eyed? I've never heard eyes prickling as a way to describe that before.
All I know is that when you revisit this, when your little one is a teen, it's going to hit so different.
Yeah, as I said this, I was like, there's probably going to be something where she says, what do you want? And like, there's going to be the sassy comments. And I'll just roll with it. It's okay.
You'll say, you used the mist well, daughter.
In my deep voice, as I wear my robe with the river Styx going across it. Yeah. Yeah, look, it's going to happen, but, you know, teens are going to be teens. I hope that I have the approach where it's like, yeah, of course. Like, this is the approach that I've had even before having a kid. When I'm on an airplane and a kid cries, it's like, yeah, they're a baby. They cry. They're in a giant metal bird that's flying so far into the sky, and the pressure is going up and down. They have no idea what's happening. Of course they're crying. So I try to take that approach when, you know, my toddler daughter does something toddler. It's like, yeah, of course she did that. She's a toddler. Sure. I would hope that when it's a teenager, when she is a teenager. Ooh. I feel like I was going to say it's a teenager situation, but anyway, when she is a teenager, I hope that I will have the calm for if sassy comments fly my way. She's a teenager. She's going to make sassy comments. It's okay.
Okay, Zen King.
I'm going to try. But also, like, I don't know. I don't feel like I ever had really sassy comments to Barb and Joel. I'd have to fact check with them. But I feel like I was like a pretty easygoing teen. So, I don't know. We'll have to see.
I rather doubt that would be their report of things. That's not a you thing. That's just a teenage thing.
I know I was the terrible twos. I know as a very problem 2-year-old. And I feel like I definitely had sassy stuff in like my pre-teens, but I'm trying to think of like, did high school Mike Schubert ever be like, meh? Like I never like slammed the door, like I'm going to my room. Like I don't think I ever did any of that. I was too busy doing homework to be mad at my parents. I was so busy in high school. I had so much homework in school and sports and stuff to do that I don't think I had time to be sassy.
And a beautiful haircut.
Bowl cut Mike Schubert. What were we doing? Anyway, Percy Jackson. So she does say to him that she thought the gods were incapacitated by their split aspects, Roman and Greek, fighting over each other. And Pluto says, yeah, they are, but you have channeled my power so strongly that I was able to briefly appear solely as Pluto. And Hazel says, I didn't invoke you, but she knows that it's a lie. This was the first time that she has truly embraced her heritage as a child of Pluto, because she really put intentional thought into thinking, okay, as a child of Pluto, what are my powers? How can I get this to work? Like she actually gave proper thought to the mist, thought about her lineage, and then that made it happen. So deep down she knows, yeah, I did invoke him.
WWPD, am I right?
What would Pluto do? He warns her to be prepped to visit his house, the House of Hades, you know, the book title, in Epirus. And he warns that the dead will not welcome her, and the sorceress, Pasiphae. I gotta ask Dr. Moya. And before he can continue, Hazel interjects, Pacify? Thinking that's what he said, but then she realizes, nah, this is somebody's name. So I'm intrigued that we now know the name, but nothing about her. So I'm very interested if we will learn more, how soon we will learn more. Ooh, you are looking all the way so that your trapdoor stays intact, which is good. Pluto says that she, Pasiphae, will not be as easy to trick as Esquiron was. She plans to harm all demigods by rebuilding her domain. And I was like, what does this mean? Oh, it's so fascinating. Pluto then...
What indeed?
What indeed? Pluto flickers into his Hades form briefly, but he returns back to being Pluto. He says that there's not much time, and then says, quote, know that the doors of death are at the lowest level of the Necromantion. You must make Pasiphae see what she wants to see. You are right. That is the secret to all magic. But it will not be easy when you are in her maze. And Hazel and I both go, what maze? But he says, you'll understand. So Chiron has gotten to Pluto as well.
So I read that, by the way, as Necromansion, like where the necromancer lives in the Necromansion.
Yep, accurate. The House of Hades, a.k.a. the Necromansion. Yeah, for sure. I dig it. He reiterates that he is proud of her strength, and though she may not believe it, he is proud, and that sometimes the best way for him to show love to his kids is to keep his distance. And I was like, meh, this feels like an excuse that bad parents say. And the narrator Hazel goes, quote, Hazel bit back an insult. Pluto was just another deadbeat godly dad making weak excuses.
Okay, I thought the deadbeat wasn't related to how involved they were, but was more like, are they like a bum, like lazy type?
My understanding of deadbeat dad is purely just like how around are you and how much effort are you putting in. That's my read on it.
See, I don't know what a bunion is. I don't know what a deadbeat dad is. I don't know. How do I tie my shoe? I don't know anything.
I think you've been a little hard on yourself. You're
right.
You're not a deadbeat. You know what's up.
You're an awesome guy.
You're an all-around awesome guy. So she thinks he's being a deadbeat godly dad, but her heart pounds as she replays his words in her mind. I am proud of your strength. Pluto tells her to return to her team so that they don't get worried, and she says that the journey to get to the doors of death is still going to be challenging. And I was like, good to know that this book won't be boring as it continues. So there's still going to be some challenges along the way. And before he can leave, Hazel stops him to ask about Thanatos. And she lets us all remember from the Son of Neptune that Thanatos told her that Hazel wasn't on Pluto's list of rogue spirits to capture. And perhaps that's why Pluto kept his distance, because if Pluto acknowledged her, he would have to bring her back to the underworld. So she says all of this, and then Pluto goes, what's your question? Which is great. I love when it's any situation and someone's like, I have a question, and then you don't ask a question, and then the person just goes, there's no question.
Especially when that person is just trying to show how smart they are in class.
The people in my high school who would do the thing where they would raise their hand and then go, couldn't you just say that and then say something? And it's like, yeah, sure, great. You did the reading. How fun. Ugh, we all despised this one particular person for doing this.
That was me.
It was not you. It was not you. Don't worry. We didn't go to high school together. Imagine if we did. Oh, God. We would have been...
Every day.
Mom, you gotta wash my shirt, please. Johnny and I have to match again. Or we would just buy 5
open the closet and it's just...
We're a cartoon character. You just have 5 of them. Yeah. It'd be really good. Got it stitched with like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so we wear the right one. Yeah, it'd be great. But... it reeks of that. But yes, the what's your question is very fun. And so then Hazel asks, why aren't you taking me back down into the underworld? And then the book ends the chapter with the following. Quote, Pluto's form started to fade. He smiled, but Hazel couldn't tell if he was sad or pleased. Perhaps that is not what I want to see, Hazel. Perhaps I was never here. And I just wrote, ooh, he was the mist the whole time. I love it. I was not expecting this.
It kind of has, of course, this was happening inside your head, Harry, but why on earth was this not, or why on earth should that mean it's not real energy?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it a lot. I liked this chapter a lot. I retitled it Missed Connections. Pretty good. Even like next level of like they missed the connection because the foot didn't go well, like a missed connection. What have you titled chapter 28?
I don't have anything, and misconnection is so good, so let's leave it there.
All right, wonderful. Now, if you're listening to the podcast after the fact, we're going to take a break before we get into Q&A. So let's all once more say goodbye to the podcast people.
Hey, it's Mike from the future here. Just taking one little break here because it is a longer episode before we get into the Q&A. I will give you a fun fact that Sherry sent me along with the edit. We talk about in this section the Maryland state flag because since I was already dressed up as the Virginia state flag, I think I made some sort of comment about when people were emailing in questions, something about Maryland, the Maryland state flag, whatever. And Sherry let me know that the official sport of Maryland is jousting, as well as lacrosse, as you could guess. But we made a joke about the flag looking like it's a jousting flag. And funnily enough, jousting, one of the official sports. Pretty cool.
Let's get into Q&A. We got a whole bunch of fun questions, so let's do it. Okay, the first one was sent in very early, but I will award it because the subject line is Vienna Show Q&A. This is our anniversary celebration. So this is from Rachel and Jeffrey. Where are you at, Rachel and Jeffrey? Happy anniversary! You did it! Woo! Hi, Mike. Love the show. I'm so excited to see you in person. We got these tickets on our anniversary, celebrating 11 years together, 2.5 years married. Question for the Q&A. If you had to pick 5 characters in the PJ universe to join you to form an improv team, who would you pick? Bonus question, what improv game/style would be each character's favorite? Best, Rachel and Jeffrey. P.S. We were both born and raised in New Jersey. What part of New Jersey?
Northwest.
I'm sorry, one at a time, please. Rachel, where are you from?
Northwest New Jersey.
Northwest. Okay, what county?
Sussex.
Sussex. Okay, yeah. And then Jeffrey? Oh, cool. All right, hey, cool. Mercer County. Yeah. Johnny was just making fun of the Trenton Makes the World Takes bridge.
It's an absurd bridge.
It's
an
a great
absurd
bridge. I love it.
It's so salty. Trenton
great.
makes the world take.
Yeah, we make stuff. Don't pronounce the second T in our name. Trenton, yeah. So, improv team, let's craft it. 5 improvisers from all of the demigods. I feel like Grover, he was like
gonna be my first.
He was originally like the inspiration for our joke of making the Camp Half-Blood improv team the Laugh Bloods. I think he would be good. I feel like Grover would just love a simple short-form improv crowd participation game. Like one of those like simple ones that crowds really like Oracle, like where you tell you know, a word at a time or something where you get an audience member on stage, which I like to call the worst improv. Not that it's like bad, but it's just like, it's so... this is like the snootiest of like improv things I will say, but it's like, it's so easy to get a laugh that it's not fun. Like, where the joke is just like, oh, the person from the crowd's not good at improv, ha ha ha. Like, or like when you do Oracle where it's like you have the 3 heads and it's like 3 people and they have to answer a question 1 word at a time. Like, oh, they didn't make a coherent sentence, it's funny. It's just like, it's so easy. I want to work for the laughs. You gotta earn the laughs. I want to play improv on hard mode. So anyway, I think he'd be doing those. Who else do we got for the improv team? I mean, I do think Percy is pretty good on the spot. Like, he's pretty good.
They're both very yes and energy too.
Yeah. I think Percy would just love any sort of kind of like high energy, high active game, like a very more like frantic kind of style. Annabeth, I do think would be solid if you're talking about like a long form improv set, like a Herald or something that takes like a lot of planning. Like you gotta like think of the big picture and make callbacks and stuff.
She would
like
have a lot of
that.
referential humor, like to, you know, great literary works and things like that.
That'd be good.
I had an English teacher once that told us that the most important reason to be well read is you get more jokes, and that is the best answer ever.
That's really good. That is really good. I could see Hazel being good based on this chapter, like, you know, mismanipulation, making something out of nothing, like there, but also like she was pretty good in the acting department with like making it seem like convincingly she was scared of Skyron.
She could just like mist the people to look like the thing that they're improving.
Exactly. Yeah.
Totally
that's very
agree.
Good. That's very good.
Okay. Hot take. Maybe not.
Okay.
I'm not sold on this. I want to discuss it.
Sure.
Would Leo be good or would Leo be terrible?
Awful. He'd be so bad. He'd be like the people who are audition for our college improv team all the time who are just like, I'm Batman in this scene, or like, they're just Leo.
Or like the Michael Scott, like I have a gun.
Right. Like he would be the person in there just like hunting for the joke and not like actually contributing to the scene, but just like waiting of like, what's the funny thing I can say? What's the funny thing I can say? Which like is the natural inclination, like the instinct of it is like, I just need to say the funny thing. And that's like what even I thought when I was first starting before I learned like, no, it's like a team sport. You got to work together and craft a story, make it believable. It's not just about like doing the thing that goes for life. I think Leo would be awful. I think he'd be so bad. Not uncoachable, but just like bad. Yeah. I'm trying to think. We need one more because I think we did 4. We need.
Speaking of coaches,
Look. You always need one person who just brings the absolute chaos into it. I feel like Coach Hedge could be good. Like,
if he doesn't do the Michael Scott I have a gun thing,
Right.
because he's
Really?
kind of a one-trick pony with his bat.
it's like there's certain people that I've done improv with where like my buddy Daniel Kinnaman was like this. I did improv with him in Seattle. So his name is Daniel Kinnaman. My name is Mike Schubert. And we had a 2-man improv team called Cinnamon Sherbert, which was just, our name was so good. And he would just always come in and just be like the wackiest characters. And it was so fun to improvise with him because I would just be on stage and he would come on. It's like, I have no idea what Daniel's about to do, but whatever it is, his character is going to be turned up to 11. And it's so fun because then all I got to do is like play off that, like either match his silly or be like a very like straight man character, be like, what? We did a scene once where we were a couple and he was proposing to me, but his one stipulation was that I had to join him in eating a gallon of Jell-O every day. That was like his, if we're gonna be married, you have to eat a lot. Like, and that was the whole scene. Like the engagement ring was inside of a giant thing of Jell-O. It's just so great. So I could see Coach Head bringing like beautiful unhinged energy to an improv set. He would just need the right like you need the right teaching. I think he could be good. This is a very fun question. Okay, this one's from Robert. Robert reminds us all that it's the Ides of March. Woo, yeah.
Beware.
I saw a funny post on Blue Sky that was like, I don't know if I'm buying this whole Ides of March story. What do you mean senators doing stuff and not just sending fundraising text messages?
You know who loved that joke? DC.
It's really good. Really, really good. So this says, hey, Mike and Johnny, and whomever is running the Q&A. Also, Mike. Oh, I'm a high school senior, 3-year Mike listener, going to college in the fall.
Oh, I met you when I was at the, hello.
Where are you at? Right here. Hello! Going to college in the fall with this live show being my first ever online purchase, or as my parents call it, my first adult purchase. Do you remember your first online purchase? I remember mine.
Okay, you first, because I gotta think.
I bought a novelty t-shirt. It was a shirt that was my favorite card from the game Monopoly, which is you won second prize in a beauty contest, collect $10. Which I guess like when the game came out, that might have been a lot of money. But like I'm a 90s kid, so I was like, second prize is $10. So I bought a t-shirt that like just had that. So I bought that novelty t-shirt. I think that was my first one, because I had gotten that and then another one that had Mr. T's face on it and it said Mr. T shirt. Those were like the first things that I bought with my like online when I first got a credit card.
You had good taste.
But that's a way cooler first adult purchase. I love that.
I bought a Fathead. Do people remember what Fatheads are?
So sports are when Fathead is like a vinyl like cutout of a sports person that you
like
can
a
put
baseball
on a
player
wall,
doing this.
and they're like life size, and then you can move them around. Who was the Fathead of? Was it
Albert Pujols?
Of course. I think that's a fun first purchase. Do you remember how much it cost? Was it very expensive?
It was like more than 70, less than 100. I scrimped and saved.
Hey, look, it's good to save. It's good to save. So I have 2 questions. 1, do you have any advice for your class of 2026? Oh God, class of 2026. I was class of 2010 high school senior. Oh no. It's soon gonna get to the point where the people graduating are gonna be like, born when I graduate. No. 2026 seniors leaving home for college or other life callings. So yeah, going off to college. Get a crash course on how to do laundry, because that can take you far. And also can be helpful, like if you meet people who don't know how to do laundry, you can be like the person who knows how to do laundry, and then you're cool. Or helpful. I famously taught Bettina Capamanes how to do laundry, and it was like one of the first things we did is like past just like Vine friends that talked every now and then. We like FaceTimed, and I was like, yeah, I'll show you how to do laundry. It was great. Like brush up on some life skills. I don't know. I think for me, especially, are you living on campus? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Just like go all into like living on campus, because like specifically living on campus in college is a unique experience that you will almost certainly never recreate. Like you can have great roommate situations after life, but it's so rare that you'll just be like in a room with a bunch of people, living down the hall with like a whole bunch of friends and stuff. Like fully embrace the uniqueness and just like go all in and enjoy it. Obviously like do your schoolwork and stuff, but I think if I had recognized a little bit more of just like the uniqueness of college, less than people being like, it's the best 4 years of your life. It shouldn't be the best 4 years of your life. Maybe it is, but I don't know. I feel like just recognizing that it is very unique and going all in. So I say, what about you for people?
I guess this isn't college specific, but it's my favorite piece of advice I've ever gotten, and I give it all the time, which is take people's recommendations for like content or books or whatever, because there's only so much like great material, great art out there in the world, and you're not going to get to it all. So you might as well get to the stuff that people recommend, because then you have something to talk about.
Yeah, that's cool. With college, both with like meeting people and with just like the experience of it, try lots of stuff. And then don't be afraid to like whittle it down and say no. I think a mistake I made is I did so many things and then I never like said no to them, and then I was just always doing too many things. But then also specifically with like, you'll meet so many different people. The coolest thing about college for me was like meeting people from all these different walks of life, whether it's like where they grow up or heritage or, you know, like you, that was the coolest thing, especially if you're
Me?
from like a background. Yes, like that wasn't as diverse. Like I don't know, it was so cool to learn about all these different things, and I listened to music I'd never listened before. Kind of like you're saying, I've watched movies and shows and ate things and did all the things that I had never done before. So it was like really fun to try new things. So yeah, try new stuff. You never know what you might like. Okay, what colleges would each of the 7 plus Nico and Coach Hedge go to? Thanks for coming back to Virginia, maybe Omaha, Nebraska, or near there next time. I do want to do a show in Omaha quite badly. That'd be super duper fun. So colleges that the 7 Nico and Hedge are going to. Let's give Annabeth Rice because of owls, and they have a very highly rated architecture program. CNC also, my wife. What do we got?
Okay, like, is Jason going to like UT or Bama or
What's the most...
or maybe
American?
Vanderbilt?
Is that the most American?
Well, he's just like very like
American University.
but like that's not the energy.
It's not,
That's
yeah.
not the energy. I feel
Ohio
like SEC
State. Ohio State. The Ohio State. Yeah, that feels like it. Hazel feels like Hazel could go to LSU. That feels like right for the New Orleans vibe.
Is LSU old enough?
It is because they had Mike the Tiger for like way long ago. They've had,
then okay.
and then Coach Hedge could be like Bama, like one of the really,
Yeah.
like sports schools.
Yeah.
Nico, what's like I don't know. He would go to some like art school like Pratt or something. Like he'd go to one of those like really,
Yeah. Leo trade school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Percy got to go to something on the coast. He's got to go to like I don't know, like a UCLA or something beachy.
Piper.
Frank's got to go to what's like a university in like McGill in Montreal. Don't they have one like Waterloo or like this? Some Canadian university.
UBC.
Sure. Who else we got?
Piper.
Ooh, does she go to like Juilliard for vocal performance?
Yeah.
And then
I think we got it.
No, you did Frank. Okay, cool. Sweet. Yeah, fun. Good stuff. Okay, let's see. This one is from Christina. Hi, Shoops. Love hearing about how much you enjoy reading to your little one so much. As an elementary school teacher who loves reading to my students, and as a daughter who was read to as a child, I know she'll benefit from a shared love of storytelling. Yeah, this kid's a nerd. She loves reading books. So for my question, what picture...
Loves reading books like the evil rat spider pirate.
The Highway Rat. So for my question, what picture books do you think our various heroes would love to read to their children? And then it says, over the last 3 years, I've purchased 3 separate tickets to your shows that I've been unable to make it to. Rehearsal once, illness twice. Needless to say, I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for the money. Glad you can actually make good on it this time around. So children's books that they would want to read to their little ones.
Clearly out of my depth.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. We read a book when we were in one of the libraries in Australia, I think in Melbourne. And there was a book called, I think it was called like something like Frank and Little Frank. And it was about like Frank Lloyd Wright as a grandpa. And he has a grandson, Little Frank. And he's like reading to him about architecture and stuff.
So who would read that one?
Tyson. So that feels like a good Annabeth one. There's a one that I really like that I was gifted along the Australia-New Zealand tour called "Don't Worry, Little Crab," and it's about a parent crab and it's about a parent crab and a baby crab, and the parent crab is like showing the baby crab like we can make it out to the sea, and yes, there's big waves, but it's not scary. So that feels like something Percy would really like because he's all about like overcoming your fears and stuff and not being too scared.
Okay, so I do have one because I do have a niece that I see sometimes and get to read to. There is this book called Sheep in a Jeep. Have you ever read Sheep in a Jeep?
No, but that sounds fun already.
Sheep in a Jeep is elite, and it ends with the Jeep crashing and breaking, and the last page says, Jeep for sale, cheap.
Oh no!
So Leo would love this.
Leo.
Because of the G, yeah.
I mean, Grover, obviously the Lorax, that's good. Jason would have to be like, I don't know, something.
Cat in the Hat.
I was gonna say like Cat in the Hat.
Green Eggs and Ham.
Everybody poops. Just like one of those like very chicka chicka boom boom, like Goodnight Moon, one of the like everybody has it.
Piper's gonna read Dear Girl.
Dear Girl.
It's like this like very like women empowerment sort of like, Dear Girl, this is how life's gonna be, yeah.
Yeah, we have one that's Go Girls Go.
Yeah,
that's a really good one. That's one super fun. Our daughter loves reading that one. So yeah, that feels
Hazel's
like a lot.
probably gonna get read from the Bible or something.
Just like, look, I don't know. There's some there's some Dr. Seuss books that are really old. It's like the Lorax. It's like, it's astonishing how old that book is. Like it's from like the 60s or 70s. It's like, oh no, we've made no progress on environmentalism. That's
it's
not
more
good.
relevant now.
All right, this one is from Jordan. Subject line: I traveled to my rival state for this show. I'm from Maryland. At the last live show here, you had to assign characters to federal agencies in very DC fashion. This time, I thought it'd be fun to ask you to assign monsters/villains to prominent members of the Trump administration. No! Next question.
Wait, I love that question.
I don't want to think about those people. They're all so awful.
Someone said just do RFK Jr.
Medea, because of all the like potions and stuff that are...
Buy this potion.
Yeah, the worst. No, that's a fun question, but I don't. God, I don't want to even think about that. Moving on, Catherine says, drove all the way from Maryland, gasp, for the live show. Hi, Shubes and Johnny, not a question, but a challenge to write a kids' book style rhyme about this set of chapters. Ooh, that's fun. I love a rhyming challenge. We do a rhyming challenge. We used to do that when we did our bracket
and
stuff.
it always stressed me out.
Sorry. So let's see. Okay. Have to go up 200 feet, climbing up a cliff. This task ahead, I hope I don't biff it in front of my crew down in the boat, hoping that Esquiron doesn't kick me into this moat.
Better hope Hazel has success with the mist, because if not, we're all gonna be saying, oh, schist.
Oh! Well done. Nailed it. Good. See, you still got it. You got it. All right. Wow, okay, a lot of Maryland in a row. This is from Katie. Vienna Live Show. The Maryland flag is the best flag. 1, what are your favorite boon givers and weapons in Hades and Hades 2, the video games? Okay. Hades, so favorite weapon in Hades 1 for me is the shield. And
Bow and arrow.
The bow and arrow, okay. Boon givers, I really like Artemis a lot. Zeus pairs really well with the shield. And then I enjoyed Dionysus quite a bit.
Athena.
Oh, yeah, Athena's really solid. Hades 2, my favorite weapon, it's hard. I really like them all quite evenly. I might go with either the skull or the staff. I feel really strong about. Specifically, the Circe staff is really good.
What are the other ones, really quickly?
There's the like hammer and sickle knives, or the twin blades. There's the torches. There's the skull. There's the staff, and then there is the coat. Don't.
Oh, I'm a staff boy.
The staff, yeah. I think the staff is quite good. The axe is fun as well. I do well with the axe, but I think I would go with the staff. And then the boon givers, Zeus is like easily the best in the game. Hera is like right behind him. She's really solid.
I love me some Hephaestus.
Hephaestus is good, but he's very particular. Like you have to really go all in on his boons, but his auxiliary boons are really good. And then Apollo, anytime I see him, I'm like, that can work into my build. Like there's never a time where I'm like, oh, how am I going to fit in it? Like Apollo stuff just like mashes really well. There's other people that are really fun. Like Poseidon's are really fun, especially if you get the one where you get twice as many resources, and when it successfully goes, he goes, ha ha! But that it's not as malleable. But yeah, gosh, ooh, maybe we're gonna have to play some at the hotel tonight. So, question number 2.
Twilight.
Yeah, no, we have bigger fish to fry. We have the skin of a killer to observe. So I think we're gonna title it when we make it the podcast, Where You Been, Loca? Since we have been so long without watching it. Which is great because you don't even get that reference, so when it shows up in whatever movie, it's gonna hit.
Yeah, you said that to me with like a twinkle in your eye, and I was like, real funny.
2, what would some of the PJO characters do as boon givers or NPCs in a Hades game? Oh, that's a good question. I feel like Annabeth would give you some sort of like thing, because the whole thing with Hades and Hades 2 is that it's a roguelike game, meaning like every room is different and you don't know what lies ahead. I think Annabeth could like give you some sort of hint about what lies ahead for like planning. Maybe she tells you like the number of bosses, or maybe she tells you like, because you always get room rewards in the next room, maybe she tells you like the next rewards will be this, so that can inform like which of these 2 you pick. You're like, oh, the next one will have a heart, so I don't have to pick a heart this time. I think that could be fun.
Frank, you just turn into an elephant.
Oh, he briefly turns you into animals and
for
stuff.
like 3 seconds or something. Yeah.
Hazel, maybe she like makes like I'm imagining some of the like characters like Icarus, who like flies in for a little bit and helps you. So maybe Hazel makes like rocks like jump out of the ground
like,
and
kill
they kill
the,
people or
kill
they
the
curse
baddies.
them. Yeah. Nico would have to give you like sneaky dark powers. Like he could give you a power to like shadow travel. Yeah. That could be really fun.
Leo could give you like some sort of gizmo that you throw and blows up.
Oh yeah. Like he gives you Archimedes spheres and you can just like toss them out. And it's kind of like when games have like bots that can just fire off at people. Yeah, Chiron just like vaguely says stuff that's unhelpful. Yeah, this is fun. That's good. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool opportunities there. I like that a lot. 3, what reality shows would the PJO characters do well on?
Leo, Pawn Stars.
Yeah. Let's see. Reality shows. Oh, you know what? What's his face? Narcissus would do great on The Bachelor. He'd be really good because he's of that type. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Who else? Anyone else? Got it. Surely there are other answers. I'm just not a big reality show watcher anymore.
Me either. I'm trying to think of the Great British Bake Show, but I don't think there's any.
Oh, Sally Jackson.
Oh,
she would be
brilliant,
phenomenal.
brilliant.
But it would be like week 8, and Paul would be like, more blue food.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, this one from Emma. A Maryland flag outfit would be the most iconic. I dressed up as the Maryland flag at the Baltimore show. Hi, Meg and Johnny. With the conflict of the Oscars tonight, my question is, if the 7 plus Nico and Hedge were in Oscar-nominated movies, what would they be about?
Okay.
So coming to Virginia again.
An aside, I have never once in my life seen all 10 Best Picture nominees before the Oscars, except this year.
And how fitting that you are not able to watch the thing.
So I have opinions on this question. I gotta think.
Yeah, I mean, a Hedge being in one battle after another feels very
Yeah,
Hedge.
yeah.
Like, Hedge would be in an action movie, Nico would be in a horror movie.
Yeah, Nico would be in Weapons. Or Sinners, I mean.
Or
One of the
both.
two. Yeah, or both.
Or both. I could see Jason just being in like a classic sort of action movie. Leo
Yeah.
would be in a movie that's
No,
like,
Jason's in F1.
Leo would be in like a movie that's trying to be funny but is not very funny.
Leo, I think, could be in Frankenstein because he's like trying to make the monster, like sort of like bring it back to life. Yeah.
Oh, cool. There's some good stuff in there. Yeah, Annabeth would be in like a very like thought-provoking.
Annabeth is Anya Shakespeare in Hamnet, I think.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. Piper would be in some like very powerful like leading role, like
Sentimental
a Kate
value.
Yeah, like or like a Kate Blanchett, just like powerhouse of acting. Where
Yeah.
it's like the movie is just like let this good actor cook.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
she could do
yeah.
that. Especially with all the Tristan stuff. Come on, like her dad being in Hollywood, she would be great. Okay, this one is from Nick. Nicole puts in the subject line "Sic semper tyrannis," which is not just Latin but also the Latin on the Virginia state flag. Also, Hazel Levesque, my beloved. Hi, Mick and Johnny. Firstly, Johnny, what does your shirt say? Because I keep thinking it's just a shirt with your name on it, and I need to know if that's true. Your previous shirt, which said,
Johnny Cupcakes.
which is Johnny's legal name.
Frolichstein is a stage name.
Yeah. I've held on to this note for over a year now, and I thought you would like to finally hear it. During the Toronto live show in October 2024, you asked if Percy had ever used Riptide as a pen before. In chapter 22 of House of Hades, he finally does for the first time in the entire series. Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus. Also, congrats on almost 5 years of TNO. Thank you. I know it's not actually 5 years till September, but I thought I'd share it now. Ooh, the passage of time. On to the actual questions. You've been to a lot of different cities via Torno. Which cities do you think each character would like or visit or live? Or if you prefer to answer this one, what creature, mythical or otherwise, would you like to have as an ally friend like Skyron's turtle? What do you think the gang would like? Ooh, do you want to do cities or animal friend?
Cities.
Cool. Okay. What would people vibe with? Percy, New York. True and true. You would love it. I'm trying to think of like people who like aren't so clearly from the city. Like,
Yeah.
what would they like? I could see Grover really being into just a city with like gorgeous nature. Maybe like I don't know, like Seattle, Portland. That feel like fits his vibe. Bay Area, Pacific Northwesty.
Hedge. I'm going to claim Hedge for St. Louis because we love
it.
baseball and Hedge loves a baseball bat.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Or yeah, I think that. Yeah, Louisville Sluggers.
Oh, yeah,
Omaha with the Little League World Series. There's like a lot of basic Cooperstown.
So maybe toured in those places?
Say what?
Because wasn't that the question is where you've toured?
Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. So places we've toured. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I've done New Orleans. Hazel's there. A lot of good options. A lot of fun cities
Yeah.
and stuff. Trying to
Yeah.
think like internationally where would people vibe with. That would be fun.
Well, Annabeth, Sydney,
Yeah,
right?
architecture is really solid there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really fun stuff. Yeah. All right.
Wait. Mr. D would be in like Mykonos or something.
Oh, party vibes. Yeah, I like that. This one's from Maddie. My name is Maddie. I'm here with my sister Kenzie. We were here together at your last live show in Vienna, and we were the ones who happened to sit at the table with Johnny's mom and got to chatting with her. My question is, how's she doing? She was so lovely to meet, and I hope she's doing well. How's Carol?
She is great. She is such a good grandma now that our niece, who was like a month old at our last show, is like 16 months old. I think that's how many months it's been. So yeah, she's loving that. She travels all the time. She's about to go to Oregon and drive up the coast, like all the way up to Vancouver, just because she's like a cool lady. And I guess she was running for mayor that night, and so got to know y'all.
So good.
That's her whole deal. She runs for mayor wherever she goes.
So good. Love Carol running for mayor. Okay, this one's from Catherine. 3X at live show / 5-year listener, Virginia's for Lovers - Old Bay Beef. Hi, Mike. Welcome back to Virginia. This is my 3rd live show in Vienna and 5th year as a listener. As Virginia's slogan is, Virginia is for lovers. What pithy slogan would you give the 7? Also, I love the K-pop playlist. Yeah, my playlist has a decent amount of K-pop in it. It's not exclusively K-pop, but it does find its way in there. You can follow it. It's on Spotify. It's called Feel the Rhythm, Feel the Vibe. Thank you for the pod, Catherine.
Wasn't there a Screamo song when I was in middle school called Ohio is for Lovers?
Sure. Bowling for Soup? Yeah.
Something like that. It wasn't them.
Hawthorne
Heights, yeah.
Wow. A pithy slogan to give the 7, like Virginia is for lovers. Maybe like, what else could go wrong? Or like, at least it's not raining. Something of that. It's just everything seems to go worse and worse and worse and worse.
The Magnificent 7.
I like it, but it feels like a title, not a slogan.
I don't know what the difference is. I don't know anything.
You know stuff. Come on. Okay, this is from Vic and Jordan from the merch table. Hi, Mick and Johnny. If you were Skyron, what would be your animal that eats people? A name that sounds like a famous person, and ridiculous strategy to get your prey into the mouth of your animal companion. So first, your animal that eats people, what would you go for?
It would have to be my mini golden doodle, but he would be a giant mini golden doodle.
Oh, I like that a lot. An animal that eats people. You know, I feel like a pelican would be fun. They got those big, like, scoopy, just get people in there. All right, and then your name that sounds like a famous person.
Johnny Ham, because he's also from St. Louis.
Maybe I'll go like playing on my famous great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather Franz Schubert. Maybe I'm like Gons Schubert because you're out of there. And then a ridiculous strategy to get people to fall into it.
I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna throw this frisbee, go run for it, and then they would fall off the cliff.
Yeah, kicking off a cliff. It would be. I would love to do some sort of thing, like, as if I have a pelican, it's got to be like in the water. So maybe like something where I trick people into running off of a pier, because then I could be like, oh, you took a long walk off a short pier, and then fall into
boo.
Yeah, look, that's what I'm going for. That's it. Okay, this one's from Jessica. Here from Seattle. That's kind of far. But more importantly, how dare you hate on the Maryland state flag? I love the Maryland state flag. I was just saying that maybe people in Virginia hate it. Someone in an email this subject line made fun of it, so maybe it's striking a nerve. They called it a jousting flag, which I think is accurate. I'm here from Seattle to visit family in Maryland, which has a much more wearable state flag, just FYI. I do hate crabs in Old Bay, though, but don't tell the rest of Maryland. They'll disown me. Also, I'm a little disappointed to hear you hype NY Gotham, but not Seattle Rain. Only one of them can have a pun for a name, just saying. Look, I got some love for my bats. I like the Gotham. I like that they represent my home state of New Jersey. The Seattle Rain is fun, too. But they got bought by, like, Olympia, Leo, so they're the OL Rain. They're not anymore, so they're back to being the Seattle Rain. Ooh, that's fun. And I love Megan Rapinoe, so yeah, it's all good. I don't know, I never had that connection.
Wait, they were the OL Rain for a little bit?
Like the
old Rain?
The old Rain! I do love the pun name, because they were the R-E-G-I, R-E-I-G-N instead of the Rain.
Amazing.
First, the hard-hitting journalism question. Hazel and Jason used choosing left foot or right foot as their excuse to need a minute to confer. So, left foot or right foot? Ooh. I would have to see what foot this guy is. Like, if he's right-footed, I would pick whichever foot is his dominant foot, because then that means it's his speed foot. So he's like, if he's doing more kicking with it and stuff, maybe that one's like, no, maybe that one's not as good.
Oh, you're looking out for number one there, trying to make sure you're getting the less good kick.
Yeah. Well, I think. Oh, because does he get kicked? Is he kicking with whichever one you're cleaning?
I think so.
Then maybe I would go for his base foot. I was trying to think of which one would be less gross. That's what I was going for. Because like you have your balance foot and your speed foot. Maybe the balance foot is less gross and then also doesn't hurt as much. So I will try to figure out what his dominant foot is and pick the other one. What about you, left or right?
Honestly, big feet guy, both.
Okay.
Not really.
Okay. Okay, then there was like a bunch of Hades video game questions. I feel like we have answered that succinctly. Ooh, David, at the Virginia live show from New Jersey. But he ends this email with the Knicks are overrated, so maybe I won't answer this question. Oh, okay, never mind. You drove from New Jersey to be... Okay, that's fine. Drove from New Jersey to see my first live show. Yeah, you are the only other people that I've seen that like basketball and Percy Jackson. My question is, who do you think the Seven's favorite basketball player would be? Ooh. Leo would like Josh Hart because he makes a lot of fun jokes and stuff. He'd respect the humor. Annabeth would have to pick someone who's very strategic. Maybe she'd pick like Steve Kerr because now he was like a good player and then like coaching mastermind as well. Or like a Chris Paul because he does a lot of like crafty, very like brain first sort of player.
I don't know where I'm going with this. I feel like Percy kind of has Jokic energy because he's just very like improvisational but extremely effective.
Okay.
I know he's not a Nick. That's the problem.
Sure. No, it doesn't have to be Knicks. It's okay. I'll take it. Well, he's just got to pick someone like super old school, like Wilt Chamberlain or like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Whoever it is, their shorts were
Yeah,
up here.
up there. Yeah. Or, Robert Parrish. Let's see. Ooh, I think even it's not perfect because he's a Boston Celtic, but I think Percy would respect the trash talk game of Larry Bird. Like that dude trash talks so much. Larry Bird once scored exclusively on a team against a team using only his left hand, and he's right-handed. And he was asked about it after, and he said, "Oh, we play the Lakers next, and I'm saving my right hand for the Lakers." Like. Phenomenal stuff. Really good.
Obviously, Jason would be Michael Jordan, and he would wear the number 23 when he played sports.
Yeah, that works. Okay, this one is from Jeanette. The subject line I disagree with, but I'm here at the show. Washington Spirit greater than New York Gotham. Hey, Shubes. Hope you enjoy the Trenton scarf. I do, wherever it has... I do, it's over there. Since you visit us during NWSL season, my question is, what character would play for each team? Gender's not an issue. As a reminder, here are the teams and some vibes. Angel City FC, lots of celebrities own this team. Let's go with Piper, because her dad is famous. Bay FC used to have Alex Morgan. Ooh, so they have like... Maybe Jason, because she's like the classic quintessential American soccer player.
Am I misremembering this, or is Alex Morgan like the worst?
No.
Or is she not the worst?
I don't think she's the worst.
Okay.
I think she's good.
Okay,
Hope
cool.
Solo was the worst.
Oh, yeah.
But no, Alex Morgan, from all accounts that I've seen, is cool. Right? Cool. Great. She did the fun tea celebration. Her kid is cute. Yay. Yeah. She invests in women's sports. Yay. Boston Legacy FC, new team, has Swans. Who's like new on the crowd? Who's new on the scene? Nico, Frank, maybe Frank with the Animal. Chicago Stars FC.
Yeah, an Animal.
Alyssa Nair, one of the all-time best goalies, so good defense and stuff.
Annabeth.
Ooh, because very strategic and play. Yeah. Denver Summit FC, new team, IDK Mountains? ? It's fun. I don't know, maybe one of the like those like mountain gods.
Yeah.
Like enchiladas or something. Houston Dash, horses ?
Leo.
Hazel. Oh,
Houston, yeah.
Kansas City Current, one of the top teams, teal-colored. IDK Ted Lasso loves them. I don't know. That's a tricky one.
Jason.
I was going to say Jason because they were like, I think they were like the best team all year, and then they lost to my beloved New York, New Jersey Gotham, and it kind of feels like he's like just behind Percy. So for them to be just behind the New York, New Jersey team,
that's really good.
Feels pretty good to me. We'll end it with this one: New York, New Jersey Gotham, bats, boo, we hate them. Percy Jackson, yeah, okay. We are like at time of the show, so we can do like we got to end on like a really solid like. Okay, this subject line is very long, so let's see what's up. And it says TNO Vienna live show Nova, because Northern Virginia and the rest of Virginia are like two separate states. Yeah, someone said in an email, they said the rival to this area is the rest of Virginia. Okay, well, we've reached it. It says also Katie flew across the country to be here. Katie, where are you? Where'd you fly from?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Wait, I'm doing a show there in a couple of days. Did you book it before I announced that show?
I go to school here.
Oh, you go to school. Oh, go. All right, so, hi, Mike and Johnny. Welcome back to Northern Virginia. We're Katie and Emma, and we met while co-hosting a podcast. Emma, a longtime listener of 10 years. Mike, you are not old. You are just prolific with sparkly emojis. Got Katie, longtime PJ superfan, into TNO. Safe to say, we're both very happy to be here. We know we've been asked a lot of questions over the years in the 2-month buffer of live shows that are unreleased, so we have some options for you to pick from. Okay. Emma is allergic to eggs, not egg products, just eggs, and Katie can't have caffeine. What mildly annoying thing do you think each of the 7 would be allergic to or can't have? Mildly annoying thing to be allergic to. I feel like Frank might have already mentioned being lactose intolerant. I think okay, so that's in there. That's canonical. It would be funny if like Jason couldn't eat bacon. Like,
Yeah.
that would be funny given his very Americanness.
Who's like a peanut allergy kid?
Oh, Nico Diaz.
Yeah.
No question.
That's so good.
No question at all. Octavian is like a really picky eater who like doesn't like something that's like very ubiquitous. So he's like, I can't eat onions. Like something that's like in so many ingredients that becomes like a big problem. I don't like bell peppers. Like something that's in a lot of food. And it's like, you're so hard. How are we gonna do this? I could see Leo also being lactose intolerant, but the guy who like sometimes is just like, I don't care if my poops are bad. Let's eat this ice cream. Like he could do that. I could see, let's see.
I know he's long gone at this point, but given Luke and Percy's history, I feel like Luke's got to be shellfish, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
man. I could see Grover being like a gluten intolerant, celiac kind of thing. Like he'd be very particular.
Yeah.
Or he just is like, because of the nature stuff, is like strict vegan diet. So he's like very particular there. And then, man, what would Coach Hedge be?
Hazel can't eat anything like relatively new and packaged because it's like wrecks her gut.
Just get confused. Nutella?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Chocolate hazelnut spread? Huh? Oh, and hazelnuts. That'd be great. Yeah, if she's allergic to hazelnut, it'd be really funny because people would always be like, do you like Nutella? She's like, no, it's just my name. That'd be great. Cool. Fun way to end the show. That's our show. Thank you all so much for coming out to the show. So delightful to be here. Such a fun crowd as always. Such a fun vibe. We had a blast. Give it up to Johnny for being an incredible guest. So fun. Give it up to Vic and Jordan for running the merge table. Give it up to Kelly for watching the baby, making this all possible. And give it up to everyone here on the Jam and Java team, from front of house to sound to the bar to the people organizing it, just like top to bottom, smooth process as always. Such a blast. Had such a great time. But yes, really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for coming out. We'll definitely have to come back. We always love coming up here to the Burbs and performing in this shopping mall. It's a delight every single time. Nothing but the best. But until we find our way back to lovely Vienna, Virginia, until then, I'll see you later. Thanks so much for coming out, everybody.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of The News Olympian. This podcast is created, hosted, and produced by me, Mike Schubert. I also run the social media and the website. Our editor is Sherry Guo. The music is by Bettina Campamanes and Brandon Krugel, and the art is by Jessica E. Boyd. If you can't get enough of the show, you can go to thenewsolympian.com/Patreon for bonus episodes, bonus content, ad-free episodes, a whole bunch of fun stuff. If you want to interact with the community around the show, you can check out the Discord, which is available to all patrons, or we're on social media. We're at News Olympian on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Twitter. And we've got a subreddit, reddit.com/r/thenewestalympian. You can also show your love for TNO by getting TNO merch at thenewsolympian.com/merch. Of course, want to give a huge shout out to our producer level patrons, Kelsey Gillespie, Vicky Garcia, Frida Vikstrom, Megan Moon, Polly Burge, Nikki Harris, Tatiana Schmidt, Sandra Rose, Josh Sayer, Sam Ruby, Mrs. O'Leary, Milo Kim, Sandkopf, Rayla Matthews, Sky Mallory, Mick Walters, Grace, Ginger Spursboy, Bradimus Prime, Skylar Sisters, Scott Sheldon, Ann M. Thayer Cohen, Bella, Percy Jackson, Kit Kat Crumbs, Jim Jam Koopy, Andrea, not Andrea, Jordan Ray, Nico's Black, Vespa, Zayden Wintergate, Terry Rothfuzz, Certified Ghost King's emotional support friend, Lee Hartley, Persasabeth, and Alex DeLong. If you want to support the show in a non-monetary way, word of mouth is essential for podcast growth. You can tell a friend directly, say, hey, there's this Percy Jackson podcast I think you would like, check it out. You could leave a rating and review on whatever podcasting app you're using, or you could just talk about the show on social media. All these things really do help. I really appreciate anyone who has done so in the past, and I appreciate anyone who will do so in the future. But I'm just so thankful that you tuned into this episode, and I hope you're tuned into our next episode, where we'll be joined by Carter Nakamoto and Nathan Cox in different locations as we do a combo episode from two different live shows breaking down chapters 29 through 32 of The House of Hades. But until then, I'll see you later. Hey everyone, how's it going? It's me, ASMR Mike. There was a point in time when I took a voice memo on my trip here in North Carolina. I think it might have been when there were a bunch of birds chirping when I was at a park. And if it wasn't that, it was something else. There was a point in time on this trip where I just put my phone to voice memo and I was like, this is going to be the ASMR Mike segment. And if it's not that, my memory is escaping me. But anyway, here's whatever that clip is. Thank you so much for listening.